from the hot air balloon capital of the world, this is Balloon Fiesta Live, powered by ExxonMobil. Direct from the rooftop studio at Balloon Fiesta Park in Albuquerque, New Mexico, here are the hosts of Balloon Fiesta Live, Glen Moyer and Lloyd Jr.
And good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and to our viewers online around the world. It is
Day 9.
I was going to say the end. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting there.
It's the beginning of the end?
It's the beginning of the end, the last chapter of the story of the 49th Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. I'm Glen Moyer, and as always, my cohort, colleague, co-announcer, Mr. Lloyd Jr. is with me to my right. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you this morning?
I'm tired, but I'm feeling very good. You know, it's been a great week.
It has been a fabulous week.
It's been fun to be back and see everybody and do this in person rather than, as much as I would love to be home, you know, petting Ranger. It's been fun to be out here
It has.
in the cold, the breeze, and back on the rooftop where I belong.
Well, I see you have all the layers on this morning.
I do. I actually left my sweatshirt at home. I'd kind of at home at the hotel. I kind of debated whether to bring it or not because this was one of those mornings where when I got up at 3:30, it was like 58.
Right.
And it's going to get progressively cooler down to about 43 prior to sunrise. And then later in the day, it warms back up. But, yeah, I'm pretty well bundled this morning.
I did start the week, and I'm ending the week in the outer part of our jackets here. Spent the middle of the week just wearing the interior fleeces.
Most days I've just worn the fleece,
Yeah.
but this morning, I put the outer jacket on over that. So, yeah.
Because it's
nice.
definitely, it's really not any cooler, much cooler temperature-wise.
No.
But we have a little
the wind.
breeze this morning, and so we're seeing a little bit of wind chill factor as well.
And it's the fact that, you know, we're basically sitting still up here as opposed to, you know, if you're down on the park and you can walk around and visit people and whatnot, it stays a little warmer. But up here when you're just sitting in the cold, and we are elevated, so.
Yeah, 55.6 degrees right here on the rooftop studio with the wind chill factor down to 53.
Yeah, I was going to say, normally that would be fleece weather, but this morning with the breeze.
And it's coming right out of the north, so right
to
into
us.
our face.
Right into our face.
Hey, so there will be no Dawn Patrol show this morning.
That's right.
Conditions are not ideal or not even good to try and do a Dawn Patrol show, so we are not going to be doing a Dawn Patrol show this morning. So we're going to go over to Pilot's Briefing and listen in a little bit more and get a little bit more about what happens at Pilot's Briefing. So let's check in over there.
Just the opportunity for them to walk along the balloons and talk with you and your crew and go see another balloon that they would not have gotten to see because if you'd taken off, they would have just seen it from the distance. So it truly made the show, and it was something special. It was not planned that way, but it turned out that way, and that's because each of you adapted as we needed to throughout the day. So, and then we were able to see the birth of the brand new balloon for Fiesta, celebrating the 50th anniversary. So we are officially on track to celebrate the 50th next year, starting October the 1st. What a magnificent balloon. And it also brings memory and shows the first 13 balloons that were part of that first flight back in 1972. So there's 7 on one side and 6 on the other, and it's a duplicate of those balloons. The board actually got a chance to get inside and take some pictures. It was fantastic. But I can tell you who the most happiest and most surprised person was yesterday, and that was Jewel. So for her to be a part of that and to know that Sid is above not only that balloon, but above all of us other balloonists out there flying every day, it just broke her heart. So she says thank you to each and every one of you for doing what you do. Yeah, let's give her a round. Thank you. All right, then at 11 o'clock, we did our awards, and here are our top 5. Yep. All right, let's the top 5. Joe Hartzell, Cody Robinson, Joe Savada, Ray Bear, and Zarek Wells. Zarek Wells. Flying that Lindstrand racer right in there every day. So congratulations, Zarek. Oh, hey, Zarek, I know you won some money, and obviously you won you want some money. But from the tower up here, we consider you the breadwinner. So for that, we're going to give you a loaf of bread. So if you'll come up here, I'll give you this loaf of bread. All right, how about last night? We were still able to put on a fantastic show. Although we did not get the balloons up, we were still able to get the skydivers, and I understand they are 10 for 10 in their performance this week. Let's give them a round. I greatly appreciate the folks that were able to do the candlesticks, and I understand even the remote control balloons up on the north end were able to do some candlesticks, and I believe they even got one balloon stood up or inflated. So thank you for those pilots and crews for doing that. And the fireworks show, man, that's fantastic. So what I've learned is if those fireballs that go up, that's 15 gallons of gasoline per fireball. Please don't try that at home. Your local fire marshal, my coworker, will not like you, okay? And also, again, that fireworks show was fantastic. They tell me they're not taking anything home. They shot it all off last night. All right, daily activities. After today's flight, we have nothing planned for schedule-wise, and our future activities will be October the 1st of 2022. 2022, and that's the bumper sticker. If you have not received one, please go to the Sid Cutter and get some and display them on every car you see in Walmart. All right, our safety tip of the day, we have Alex.
Good morning, everyone. So they saved the worst for last here. And I said, what safety tip should we have today? And they gave me the usual. Drive safe. Stop and take a rest before you're tired. We would love to have everyone back next year, of course, for the 50th. And I'm going to close with a friend's joke. Now they're worried. I had to go through a whole catalog of jokes to find one that might be appropriate for everyone here. So I just heard this one yesterday. I'm going to repeat it. I love to, used to play the drums, okay? And I like tapping the drumsticks on the steering wheel when I'm driving, usually to Leonard Skinner. But I dropped one of the drumsticks out the window, so I had to change to Def Leppard songs. Drive safe, please.
All right. Thank you, Alex. And thanks to all the safety folks that have done those safety tips of the day. We appreciate it. All right, for some gifts here and some recognition. For the Cameron drawing, again, this is one that we will, ooh, don't lose those. Oh. Brad has not done the forecast yet, but wind is in the forecast. All right, for the Cameron drawing, banner number 3, Bruce Wood. Bruce Wood. All right. I think Bruce is down there. Ambassador of the Day. This is another email that we received, and it's from a landowner up in Corrales. The folks up there definitely love us. And this is from the Finn family. Emily Finn sent an email into the landowners. And again, I'll summarize this, but she starts off by saying they live on a quiet dirt road up in Corrales, and it was a typical morning during Balloon Fiesta as she sat on her back porch, sipping her coffee and watching the balloons in the air as she started to notice the balloons were drifting towards her. This obviously wasn't yesterday. So as she noticed the balloons were drifting towards her, she noticed they were getting closer and closer until one of them landed on a street just down from where she lived. She says that she's been trying to convince her neighbors, who are transplant from Virginia, go Hokies, and they really should go to the field at least one time and see the balloons. Once she noticed that the balloon had actually landed on the road, she went and woke up her neighbors. Now they're best friends. And she got her neighbors to go down and visit with the balloon. She cannot tell you how appreciative of, the landowner says, cannot tell you how appreciative she is of the balloon that landed and the crew to show the ambassadorship that was demonstrated with that balloon crew. She says she knows that balloonists are asked these questions 1,000 times. What makes them go up? Why do you only fly in the morning? How do you steer? And many, many questions, but the balloonist and the crew continue to answer those questions for this newbie family. She closes in saying there's no doubt that this family from Virginia will definitely be part of the balloon family in the future and plans to come to Fiesta and even crew in the future. So the banner and the winner for the Ambassador of the Day is banner 382, Dale Patton. Dale Patton. And for that, let's see. Got it right here. We have a case of Dos Equis. We have a logbook bag from Firefly. Glen Moyer has given one more scarf. Thank you, Glenn. We have 2 gift cards from Albertson and Dunkin' Donuts. A Yeti cooler, a coffee mug, not a cooler, coffee mug from Digital USA. We have the treat basket from the officials. Hey, fire extinguisher from Fireworks. A bottle of rum and assorted items from our very own Captain Morgan. A sleeve of cups that have the balloonist prayer on them. And last and not least is our... Very nice. Thank you very much. All right, landowner. Another card received and drawn out from the Corrales area is the family of Stephen and Joe Tenorio. Stephen and Joe Tenorio, and Debbie Young has submitted that. So thank you. We'll definitely reach out to those folks. Let's give them a round. All right. We're looking in our book. We need to call banner 0. Congratulations and thank you very much. Thank you very much. Banner 0. All right. I know all week we've recognized a lot of people, and I'd just like to take this opportunity just to thank the group and the leaders of the group that really help me and make decisions and get that information out to you. I don't do this alone, and I truly do it with the folks that are standing behind me up here, and they're also down here at the base of the tower. And I'll just do, and this is no particular order, but the Assistant Balloon Meister, Moyer, thank you very much, and his wife, Lynn. Can't tell you how much they are not only a true friend, but they greatly support the effort that we do here. Weather, Brad, Randy, and all the folks in the weather team, thank you. Chief Safety, Tom, he's up here behind me. Thank you, Tom, and all of the safety officials that are down there. Thank you. How about our launch folks? The Chief Safety launches, Michelle, Chris, Lynn, Cliff, and all of the zebras that are out there. Thank you, thank you. And by the way, the zebras are going to be recruiting. If you know somebody or you would like to be a zebra, please reach out to them after this event, and they will definitely want to talk to you about getting some more folks. Our chief scoring folks, Tammy and Rita, thank you, and all the scoring personnel that come out. Landowner Relations, Nancy, and that team that is out there driving the streets and talking with the landowners, assisting us as pilots and crew. Thank you, Nancy. Up in propane, Mike, who's on scene there, and then Glenn, who's at home remote doing some work for us. Thank you for all the people at the propane. And we've got one, thank you, and we've got one new group. Sam doesn't know this yet, so he's hearing it for the first time. We have one new group that I'd like to recognize, and Kate's in charge of that, and that's our scanner folks. So Kate and all the scanners, thank you. We truly are hitting on 100% of the people that are flying are checking in, and I can't tell you how impressed we are with that. It just shows the accountability that you as pilots and crew are coming to this briefing, getting the information before each flight, so thank you. All right, let's turn it over to Brad for some weather. Brad, here I have a rock to hold your papers right here.
All right, good morning, everyone. So I'll go ahead and get started on the large scale, and we'll work our way down. So basically what we have is an area of low pressure across eastern New Mexico. it still doesn't want to change for me. So we have a low pressure across eastern New Mexico, and the frontal boundary worked its way through yesterday evening right before the glow. It has since now shifted off to the south and east, but we do have a secondary boundary that's going to be working its way through later on this morning, and that's going to have some impacts. So basically, here's the satellite image, and you can see that across areas east of the mountains, we've actually got some showers and thunderstorms over there. And let me put up the radar so you can kind of see what's going on. So here we've got some showers and thunderstorms here in a line. There's actually a few lightning strikes, like I said, mentioned thunderstorms. And then we've also got an area of showers that are working their way out of eastern Arizona into far western New Mexico. Okay. With that, latest surface conditions locally are, let's jump there. The latest surface conditions are as follows. At Sunport, temperature is 57, dew point 34, relative humidity 41%. The barometric pressure is 29.88 inches of mercury and falling, and the barometric pressure is, that was the barometric pressure. Wind is 260 at 4 knots, and they're reporting 10 miles visibility and scattered clouds at 12,000 feet. Double Eagle is 46 degrees, dew point 30, relative humidity 53%. Winds were 020 at 6 knots, so that's that drainage wind, and the barometric pressure is steady at 29.90 inches of mercury. So at Albuquerque Sunport, the new TAFs just came out, and they're forecasting a wind of 280 at 9 knots, visibility greater than 6 miles, and broken ceiling of 8,000. After 9 o'clock this morning, winds of 310 at with a visibility greater than 6 miles. Vicinity showers, so that's that showers working in from the west. Broken 6,000, overcast 10,000. And then after noon, they have winds of 20 gusts to 30 knots. So it is a pretty strong system that's going to be working its way in later on today. For Double Eagle, what's interesting is the new TAF it changed quite a bit. Winds were generally out of the west, forecast out of the west here, 280 at 9 knots, visibility greater than 6 miles. Broken 8,000 ceiling, and then after 8 o'clock, they have the gusty winds picking up. So 300 at 15, gust to 25, visibility greater than 6 miles, but vicinity showers, and broken ceiling of 6,000, overcast 9,000. So let me jump back here. So basically what's going on is we do have that boundary kind of working its way in from the north. You can see that the winds are out of the north here across northern Arizona. And then as that front kind of works its way to the south and east, you'll actually see an increase in wind speed here. So this is at 3 o'clock this morning. If I advance further, you can see that there's 6 o'clock now. And then you can see that those stronger winds starting to advance further off to the east. And so given that that's the case, we are expecting winds to increase behind this boundary as it works its way through. Let me see here. So here's what we got on the profiler. When we were doing the forecast here, when we started doing our briefings this morning, this is what we were dealing with, and it was like, hey, this looks really good. And we were anticipating everybody heading off to the south and east, and we thought there was a window of opportunity. I will say conditions have significantly changed since then. We've had this drainage kick in here, and it's only increased in depth through the period. So while we initially thought you guys were going to head off to the south and east, now it looks like it's a very strong north wind, and we are seeing that increase in winds from the north to the south, especially in that lowest 1,000 feet. And here's some wind information off the profiler. So at 200 feet, we had a direction of 0, so straight out of the north, with a wind of 10.5 knots. At 500 feet, winds were out of the northwest, 352 at 12 knots. Let's see here. They'll go up to 850 feet. Winds were 350 at 15 knots. If we go to 1,500 feet, it's 355 at 9 knots. Let's jump up to 2,000 is going to be 8 degrees, so still out of that north direction at 7 knots. 2,500 feet is 12 degrees at 8 knots. And then if we go to 3,000 feet, still out of the north there at 6 knots. So as you can see, that conditions are rapidly changing. So we're going to kind of keep an eye on this and then make some make some decisions later on. I will say we haven't made any official decisions. Okay, so with that, I have my weather helpers this morning are Jonathan and Nathan Lee, and they have a pie ball in the back of the tower. Do I have any launch directors in the area to give them permission to launch? That's the best cheer we've gotten all week.
All right, if you are going to keep an eye on it, look quick because you're not going to see it long.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good. Appreciate the access. I hope I didn't steal your thunder.
All right, as you can imagine, what we discussed at 4 and 5 in the morning is not what we're seeing right now, so hang on just a second. Brad said we'll keep an eye on it, and that's what we'll do. He didn't say eyes. Yep. All right, I can't see with this thing. Okay, today's activities, what we've got planned. We obviously we had Dawn Patrol that was sponsored by Route 66 Hotel Casino and RV Resort. Obviously, they did not fly or stand up, nor did the Krispy Kreme Glow. But we want to recognize them for being here and being prepared to go. Let's give them a round for everything they've done. All right, 7 o'clock, we are still on schedule for the national anthem to begin at the main stage. The balloon of the day is sponsored by Cumulus. We will be talking with them whether they're going to even stand up. Okay, the flag is yellow, so the field is on hold. If we do open up for free flight, the flag will go green. If we do, we will not do 2 waves. If we do fly, it'll only be 1 wave. And if you're in the second wave and you plan to fly, please make arrangements with your partners beside you or find a spot with your launch directors to be in the first wave. If we open the field up, that will be green and only 1 wave. If at one point that we feel that we could even do statics, we will relay that message to you through the Raman system, through the Balloon Meister frequency, and through the launch directors. The flag will still stay yellow. But do not go static until you hear from us in one of those ways. Okay? All right. Let's want you to have a safe flight if we have a flight. Obviously, if we want you to have a safe tether or display, not a tether, display if we have the opportunity to display our balloons. And I think that's a fantastic photo that was taken earlier in the week. It really shows that there are a lot of people out there watching over us every day. So, all right. And with that, I'd like to wish everybody safe travels. It has truly been an honor to be up here. Maybe without this on my head. An honor to be up here and be part of this team and to relay the messages and to conduct the safe operations that we've had all week, and we'll continue to do that today. So bear with us. If we can put on a show for the display of the balloons, we'll at least try to do that. If the opportunity is there to fly, we'll do that. But if it's not the right conditions, we're not going to fly. Okay? And we'll give continuous reminders out through the Balloon Meister frequency and also the Raman system. And in closing, Sam Parks would like to come up here and say just a couple words. And it might be the last time I see you as a group here. I greatly appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing everybody back next year on October the 1st. Thank you.
Thank you, Henry. Just wanted to say this has been a wonderful 9 days of ballooning here in Albuquerque. As we still deal with this pandemic, it's so great to be able to come together and enjoy something that we all love. So thank you for being able to put on that show for Albuquerque, state of New Mexico, the United States of America, and the entire world that was watching us. So I wanted to say thank you. It's so good to see you. Come back next year. Let's celebrate the 50th anniversary of this wonderful event. And thank you so much for putting on this greatest show on earth. See you next year.
So we just brought the almost the entire pilot briefing to you, and you heard it directly from them. that the winds are definitely stiff this morning when they need the rocks to hold the papers down.
When the balloon meister says, here, Mr. Weather, is a rock to hold down your briefing papers,
Yep.
you know wind is a factor.
It is definitely a factor, and as I've been watching, they call this, Brad mentions the wind detect, or the wind detector. That is a wind radar system that we have here in Albuquerque year-round. Most of the year, it is out at Double Eagle Airport over on the west side, but they bring it to the northwest corner of Balloon Fiesta Park during Balloon Fiesta, and it updates like every 3 minutes is what that radar is updating. And so I've been watching it, and for the 2 hours that I've been out here already, it just keeps getting stronger.
Yeah.
It just keeps getting stronger. It was about 5 2 hours ago. Now, near the ground, it's reading about 10.
Yep, there it is on the screen right now.
Well, that's the radar. Yeah, that's the anemometer right here on the roof.
On the rooftop studio,
Yeah.
10 out of the northeast.
And the DTEK system, which I can't bring up for you, shows that all the wind speeds and directions at altitude. So it literally it's a radar system, measures the particles of whatever in the air,
Yeah.
and that's how it figures out where they're moving. And that it's really a cool system. Really great to have that here all year as we fly balloons all year here. But this is going to be one of those days, one of those 60 days out of the year that most likely we will not be flying.
Yeah, and to be honest, probably a slim chance that we'll see a static display like we were able to do yesterday.
Right.
Yesterday, very calm on the surface, but the winds aloft were speedy and in a bad direction.
Right.
And this morning, it's just,
Yeah.
it's windy and it's a bad direction, and you heard Henry say, if we can do it, we will.
Yes.
But if the conditions are not safe, we won't. And that's the only decision you can make. And so right now we're on a hold, and it doesn't, I wouldn't even say I'm cautiously optimistic, because it just doesn't, I don't see a lot of reason for that optimism in the weather forecast. But you never say never.
Well, so we are still going to do an opening ceremony for the day, if you will, with the national anthem. The New Mexicoids are on tap to do that for us. And we may see the balloon of the day stand up, but even that was a big if. So they'll have that conversation. Because remember, it's one thing for Henry and the rest of the Fiesta folks to say, hey, it's okay to do this. It's another thing for the pilot to be comfortable doing it.
Right.
And the pilot is the PIC, the pilot in command. They are the ones that make the final decision whether they stand up the balloon or fly it or any operations with that balloon, the federally registered
aircraft. And I'm
aircraft.
curious, I would guess we may not even see, the burner show at the national anthem, because I don't know that pilots, if they're feeling, well, we're not going to fly, and they all have to travel home later this morning.
Exactly.
I'm not sure they're going to want to break out their baskets and burners and burn a little propane and then have to worry about getting refueling just for that little bit of a show. So I'm thinking we may not even see much in the way of a burner glow at for the anthem.
So as you talk about that, New Mexico being the 5th largest geographical state, anybody who's from outside of New Mexico, you have a good day's drive to get home. And if you're any farther than that, it becomes maybe 2 days to get home. And you've already been here for 9 days and a couple of days to get here. So the whole idea of traveling to get to Balloon Fiesta turns into a 2-week deal. So it's definitely something that you have to be aware of. And of course, you hit kind of midweek to midweek. So you're really taking 3 weeks out of your life from work, those types of things. So folks, pilots will be looking to get on the road and get home and get back to work that way. So we had a request during pilot's briefing from our online folks to find out more about how do you become a launch director?
A zebra.
Yep. So Ruth Lind, we passed the request along, and she caught up with our chief launch director.
Outstanding. Ruth?
I did. I found Michelle Healy down here on the field. Michelle, tell us about how someone would go about joining the Zebra team.
Oh, that's a really good question. So the beginning of January, you go on the website for Balloon Fiesta, and there's an application that you fill out. And there are specific requirements. We do a lot of training in the summer. So to get here, there's training in July, August, And so if they just go on the website, there's an application there.
What kind of training do you do with the zebras?
We do situational training. We do how to launch a balloon. We talk about safety because our #1 goal is a safe, coordinated launch. So we do that.
What kind of person makes a good zebra?
Someone who loves people. If you don't love people, then you don't make a good zebra. And someone that likes to have fun. We have fun, but we work really hard.
That's amazing. You have quite an array of comm equipment here. You said earlier you have a lot of people in your head. Who's in your head and what are they telling you?
So this one here on this side is the tower, because I'm up on the tower, and I communicate to the section leads who are down on the grounds. And then this one here, we listen to the sections. So all the zebras can communicate to us.
Wow, I can't even imagine how complicated your job is, but I know that you make it work for all the zebras, and the zebras make it work for the pilots. So thank you, Michelle. We couldn't do this without you.
Yes, it is a team effort, and all of those zebras are the bosses, not me.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Michelle. Glen, Art, we have another interview coming up right around the corner that's going to be pretty dirty.
Uh-oh. Can we quick ask Michelle a question about how many new zebras, how many openings do they typically have per year?
Sure. Michelle, they want to know how many new zebras, how many openings do you have in a typical year?
It just depends. So for this year, we didn't have any. And it'll depend on how many come back for next year, and then we determine that as the balloon needs are met.
Okay, sounds good.
Great. Thanks, Ruth. Thanks,
Ruth.
Michelle.
See you guys.
And I don't know who that guy is that just walked through the camera shot, but he's
In
out here in a
t-shirts.
T-shirt and a pair of shorts. What? What universe are you living in, friend? Are you kidding me? T-shirts and a short this morning? Goodness. Shorts, rather?
I've heard of being warm-blooded, but not where. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had a sweater or a hoodie, but it was tied around his waist. I mean, what?
Yeah.
I'm not into that this morning, not at all.
Nope. Like I said, you got both layers of the jackets on. I still have my long sleeve T-shirt on as the heavier piece of the jacket. I'm feeling cool. I almost think I should go get the fleece as well.
I've got a long sleeve mock turtleneck underneath the fleece, which is then underneath the jacket. So, and I'm regretting that I didn't grab the sweatshirt or the sweater from my hotel room on my way out this morning. I debated it, and I thought, it's not going to be that bad. Suddenly I'm thinking, oh, boy, you're a dummy.
Someone is lying in their bed in their RV wondering if they should get up and go out in the cold to see the balloons.
No.
No, just stay right where you are.
Stay where you are, stay warm.
And keep watching us, and if something
us.
happens, you'll see it. You'll have an opportunity
right.
to make that happen.
In fact, if I could come in your trailer and get warm, I might do that too. We might become very good friends.
Anybody's trailer, not
anybody's
just,
trailer. Yeah, any trailer. Just got a pop-up tent. I'm there.
Yeah. Hey, this has been a fabulous week. Some folks are saying this is the price we pay having the last day get some wind on it for fabulous days of flying. We technically haven't lost an event yet.
That's right.
Kind of a little bit of a candlestick the last couple of nights.
Yeah, and the last Shafe's rodeo or Glodio rather wasn't all that it could have been because we had some wind, so some of the Shafes did not put up. But we've been batting 1,000. We've not canceled a single event.
All the fast tracks guys, they're 10 for 10. The fireworks they're 10 for. Well, they do 5. They do 5 nights. So
yeah.
they don't.
And
they
what
don't
a show they did last night. We talked about it last night, and the tower confirmed it that they're not taking anything home. Anything that hadn't been shot off previously, they dumped it all in the bucket and put it in the show last night, and it was impressive.
Well, they do the big aerial off the north end, and then they do kind of what we call a candlestick line over a wall over here on the side. And most of the fireworks show last night was both of them at the same time.
At the same time, yeah. I was driving out toward the end, and and there's a certain ambient level of noise from the fireworks. And so just as I rounded the corner and topped the little bridge on the entry here, I think they lit up the wall because suddenly it was like my car was under attack. The booms were echoing all around my little bitty car, and it added a whole level of intensity to the show last night. But it was awesome, and they always, our afterglow fireworks are always some of the best.
And last night was up there in the top 10, definitely.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's a shot that show you exactly what's happening here at the field.
Yeah, there was someone in the Facebook group who was, there were a lot of people questioning, are they going to fly, are they going to fly? And someone said, well, wind won't be a problem. And I said, excuse me? Wind is a problem. He said, oh, well, it must be aloft. And I said, no, did you not hear the balloon meister tell Brad, our weather guy, that he's got a rock to hold his papers down? It's wind on the surface. And there it is. That's a very visual view of it. The winds are very brisk this morning. Are we being heckled downstairs?
That's what it looks like.
Security to the rooftop studio, please. Call security.
So, maybe wind isn't a problem if you're inside your RV.
Come on up, guys.
Maybe that wind is not a problem or a factor if you're inside
your RV.
Yeah.
So some of my local crew from Louisiana were heckling us downstairs.
Oh, is that who that was? I couldn't tell.
That's Joey and the guys.
Okay.
So they're going to come up and heckle us up here.
Oh, great. Yeah, well, we had a whole other drive-by karting last night.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Can't blame it.
I was just looking. We should check. Nobody tried to photobomb the backdrop today.
And I'm not sure exactly who it was because they left cards from about a dozen balloons.
It's like somebody brought their card collection up and just donated it to us all over the set.
Well, and then we had some of our balloon trading cards.
And so they took some of those.
They took those and helped decorate the set with those as well.
Yes.
So we'll probably get charged for littering because the wind blew them all around the stage and probably off.
Well, the wind blew a banner. Our production team, Windfire Productions, lost their banner when Greg and I showed up. I think it was last night. The banner, somebody had found it. It had blown away down across the field. Somebody found it and brought it back up and laid it on the ground here in front of the sponsor office.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Yep. So it's been an interesting week. Hey, we did those award ceremonies yesterday. And
you did the award ceremony.
Well, I
yesterday.
did. I did. I'm still giving you credit for
I
it.
appreciate it.
And the entire show, I've edited it down. It's about 35 minutes or so. I took out all of the long walks. It seemed like every award winner sat as far away from the stage as they could.
Well, and to be fair, this year the logistics of the awards banquet had to be adjusted to account for COVID. It was all done outdoors. In a patio seating sort of thing. And so, the setup was entirely different from what we would normally operate inside the Sid Cutter Pavilion.
So I kind of shortened it up. I tightened it up a little bit for you. I actually posted it about 11:30 Mountain Time last night. I did notice this morning when I got out here about 4 hours later, 4.5, 5 hours later, that nearly 100 people had already caught it and tuned in and watched it. Probably all those folks who it's the middle of the day.
Yeah. Well, cool, because there are a lot of people who are interested in what the final results were, having watched the competition all week long.
So let's go out to Ruth and hear about gas competition. Then we're going to come back and recap the winners for us.
So Ruth, take it away.
Yeah, I'm down here with Mark Sullivan, one of our gas pilots this year. And a lot of people have been asking me this week what this other big piece of equipment is on the field. It's behind Mark and me right now. Mark, tell us about the hopper.
Well, the sand hopper we brought on the field about 20 years ago. And what it does, when we fly gas, we got to have about 100 bags of sand each balloon. So this sand hopper puts 10 kilos of sand in each bag with just a push of a button. So you put your bag under it, hit a button, and there's your 10 kilos instead of doing it with a scooper. So it really speeds things up.
Well, that's so much better than when I remember filling sandbags with shovels and scoops, and it was so labor intensive. But other people have been asking me, why do we need special sand for the gas balloons? I mean, what's the deal? Why can't we just go out in the parking lot?
Well, the sand that we take in the air has got to be really, really fine sand, because when you drop in sand, you don't want to mess anything up on the ground. So we use, it's called playground sand, essentially. So it's just really, really fine sand, and that's perfect. The sand that you use to inflate the bags around the balloon to hold it down is a little rougher sand, and you can use not a high quality of sand. And then we actually, when we're done with that sand, the field guys in Albuquerque put it on the field with all the ruts. That's how they fill the field up. So that big pile over there, that's old sand, dirty sand, they repair the field with.
That's amazing. And then also, does the sand hopper help to keep the sand dry, and why is that important?
It does not, but you can see by looking at the sand pile, the good sand is covered and dry, 100% dry. Because if you get wet sand, even a little moisture in it, once you hit freezing temperatures, it's like a brick. You got to have a hammer. You've got a problem on your hands.
It would be like dropping a concrete ball on somebody's head if you had to release a whole bag of that.
Yeah, you can't drop it. You'd just be crazy to drop it. So if your sand freezes, that's it. You got to wait till you come down before you can drop sand.
And you had a lot of experience with that this year, getting up to those freezing temperatures.
Yeah, this year we were up at 17,000 and it was 10 degrees. It was cold. So all the pilots said, boy, thanks for the great dry sand.
That's wonderful. As always, Balloon Fiesta takes care of its pilots, gas and hot air. And since you're also on the board of directors of Balloon Fiesta, we thank you for everything that you do for all of us, Mark.
Thanks. And next year is going to be a big race. All the Europeans get to come back, and there's a lot of them wanting to come.
Can't wait. Yeah. Back up to the stage, Glen and Art.
Thank you, Ruth, and thank you, Mark. And it's good to see you, Mark. We haven't had a chance to say hi this year, but see you on the video, so... Yeah,
I've managed to chat with him a few times. He was the award winner for the Heritage Award this year.
Oh, okay.
The Heritage Committee of Balloon Fiesta works with around the year to preserve the heritage of New Mexico and the Balloon Fiesta. We're coming up on 50 years, as you've heard, and we're trying to.
Really?
It's like we. And you
know,
know,
I hadn't heard that.
It really is amazing that. Okay, so a lot of stuff just kind of went by the wayside from those early days.
Yeah.
Again, it's one of those, we're just going to do this little thing. We're just going to bring a few balloons over. We'll go put them up over here, and we'll have a little party. And no one dreamed that it would turn into what it has turned into. And not all of the records, not all of the things that happened were preserved for many, many years. And a number of years ago, Dr. Tom McConnell started up the Heritage Committee to try and capture that, to put it together so that we can remember where we've been, and especially as we move
archiving
forward.
our history.
It all.
Yeah.
And a few years ago, I started working with the Heritage Committee as well, but the Heritage Committee has started recognizing folks who have gone on and above and contributed to not only Balloon Fiesta, but to the heritage of it. And so we recognize someone every year. At the awards banquet yesterday, or brunch awards ceremony, we recognized the 2020 Heritage person, Jim Bird, who has been a longtime scoring official for us, especially around America's Challenge. And then for 2021, it's been Mark Sullivan, instrumental in bringing gas balloon back to Balloon Fiesta 24 years ago with America's Challenge, and continuing that, as well as being a longtime board member and all the other activities that he takes on.
Well, you talked about how you had started working with the Heritage Commission. Another person that was honored yesterday was my very good colleague, yourself, Art Lloyd Jr.
Thank you.
Was inducted into the AIBF Hall of Fame, and very well deserved, not only for all of the work that you do as the executive producer of Balloon Fiesta Live, powered by ExxonMobil, but for years you've worked as a volunteer with the museum, with the Quad A, with AIBF. You now, because of the duties with Balloon Fiesta Live, are on staff part-time here at Albuquerque. And so it was very well deserved. I was very proud to be one of those who nominated you for the award, and glad that you received it. Well deserved, and proud of you. But that doesn't mean you can retire now. You got to keep working.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens. It's kind of like you get recognized and you think, geez, I guess I better step up my game to live up to the award.
Yeah,
you know,
you've definitely lived up to the award, and I'm really proud that the committee accepted our nominations. Myself and Brad Tiemeyer, our chief weather guy, made the nomination for you. And I had honestly forgotten about it. Brad and I worked on that back in the summer, and I never heard anything more about it and until after the awards yesterday afternoon when Brad and you and I were talking, and we realized
it actually happened.
That it actually happened. And they, I heard us, Bobby, your wife, was chatting with John Davis this morning about how they managed to keep it secret from you.
They did.
Because you coordinate and orchestrate not only just Balloon Fiesta Live, but also the award show, as you did yesterday. And I thought it was amazing how they kept you from finding out that you were an
and
award
I actually
winner.
had the award under my arm
you
in
were
the
holding
bag.
on to
I'm
it.
holding on to it. And I'm trying to be helpful to John here because he's already juggling paper and a microphone, and then he has the plaque here. And so I originally had taken it out of the bag, but then it was in its protective coating. And when John saw me start to pull it out of the protective coating, he started getting after me about, no, don't be doing that. and honestly, I didn't think much of that because he's always done that, no matter who the award winner is.
Right.
When I try and help, no, don't. He wants to take it out of that protective coating. So I appreciate the thoughts, the efforts to go through the nomination process. I appreciate being selected and inducted into the Hall of Fame. I promise I will continue to live up to that honor.
Well, we're proud of you, and it's a well-deserved honor, so congratulations.
So let's talk about the, thank you. Let's talk about the other winners yesterday. Not sure which one you got, Steven, so throw one up and we'll just go with your lead on those. So we handed out, first off on Friday, we had poles on the field as part of the competition. 5 poles out there, and 3 of them had rings dropped on them.
Each one was worth $2,000, so there was $10,000 total in prize money available to the pilots.
Lucas Hartzell got a pole all to himself, so he got the $2,000. Stuart Enlow got a pole all to himself for $2,000, which means that Dennis Short and Nolan Schuler both got the same pole, so they split the $2,000.
Right, so they split evenly.
On Thursday,
we did the same thing. Actually, we began it on Thursday and
right.
then just repeated on Friday. Again, 5 poles, each one worth $2,000. Get the pole all by yourself, you get the full $2,000. Multiple pilots on a single pole, and they split evenly.
Every one of the 5 poles got hit or rung, if you will.
We gave away the full $10,000 on Thursday.
So Bruce Byborg got the $2,000. Daniel Liberti and Lucas Hartzell split the $2,000. Phil Klinger got $2,000. Jerry Kopis got $2,000. And Ian Whitley and Bill Bussey split the $2,000 on the final pole.
Do we still have the video? Can we call it that video of Bruce Byberg? Because we got a nice video of him ringing the pole. Thought maybe we could show that to folks, or do we have it?
So if we
the truck
talk just a little bit.
Saying if we filmed, we could see that. Because it really is a dramatic video.
So we had some pretty good video from the ground, but really the best video is from the balloon.
Yeah,
a number of these guys are flying with GoPros and phones, and their passengers are taking videos, et cetera.
Here we go.
And so here is Bruce.
Watch the video on the big screen as Bruce is coming in. There's the pole. You're riding in the basket with him. In a moment, you'll see, got the ring ready.
Got the ring, a little burn.
There's the ring in hand, little burn to maintain altitude. And we're close, we're close.
Right to the top of it, right at the altitude. Drop it over the top.
Drop it over the pole. That is how you do that, ladies and gentlemen. That's $2,000. That's a $2,000 moment right there.
Right there,
yeah.
Right there. And we've always talked about that is definitely the way. If you get there and just set the ring over, you know that you've got it.
If you're off to the side and you try to frisbee it over there, 99.999%, it ain't going to happen.
Ain't going to get there.
Yeah,
Between the distance, the momentum, all those things.
Yeah. I can recall when it was chatting with some of the officials about it last night, and Sam Parks was there down in Baton Rouge some years ago when I won a pole grab. And in that grab, you had to reach out and pull the ring off the pole.
Well, that's how this whole competition started.
Exactly. And I can remember inching closer and closer and closer, and you think, I got it.
Yeah.
And Sam was on the ground. He was the balloon meister there at that event, and he was down there waving me in like an air traffic control. Come on. But he gave me a hard time because and I'm sure you've done it, and I do it too. I always rag on pilots who they're coming into a pole and they see they're going to get it, so they forget about the target, or the target becomes secondary, and they just throw their marker and then concentrate on the pole.
Yeah.
And then they go right over the X.
Yes, we've all seen that.
Well, I did exactly that.
Oh, no.
I'm focused on that pole. I'm going to win the only pole I've ever won as a pilot, and nothing is going to deter me. And so, and there was an X on the ground, of course. So I thought, well, I'm going to get a good score. So I just take my baggie, my marker, and just toss it over the side, and
Just
go
to make
in,
that score.
Just to make the score, and then I grab the ring, and I'm so thrilled. And then, I go right out over the center of the X. I could have just bombed the center. And, of course, at the award ceremony, Sam ragged on me, as I've often done on him, because he said, "What were you thinking? You went right over the X, and you had already dropped your marker." And I was thinking, I'm going to win a pole grab. And the prize that year was a brand-new trailer that I'd used for my balloon for a number of times. Speaking of Sam Parks, our intrepid reporter Ruth Lind has corralled him for a quick interview. So Ruth, Sam, take it away.
Thank you, Glenn. Oh my gosh, Sam, what a week we have had. Tell me about the best part of the week for you.
Well, Ruth, it's hard to pick out all the different features of Balloon Fiesta, but for me, the most exciting thing of all was to have all of us back together. Since we missed 2020 Balloon Fiesta, coming back together and enjoying ballooning there in 21 has been so special to me. So I got to say that that's the best part.
It seems to me that it's been a pretty safe year. Would you agree with that?
It has. We've had some great weather in the beginning of the week, and we've done a lot of flying, a lot of glowing. So yes, generally speaking, it's been very safe.
That's wonderful. I want to ask you about yesterday morning. I know most of us had tears flowing down our faces. What was it like for you to stand up that Fiesta 50 balloon?
That was so excited. I was really hoping that we would be able to do that today, because this was going to be the closing of the 49th edition and then open up the 50th edition with this new balloon. But of course the weather didn't work out for that today, so we did it on Saturday, which was fantastic because we had a bigger crowd. And I was so excited to see this design that I created come to life.
I have this saying in Maine that you were smiling so wide that your ears were touching in the back of your head. How long has that project been in the works?
It's been a secret project now for about 5 months, and we've worked on the design many times to try to get this exactly the way we wanted it, and I couldn't be happier with the turnout.
Oh my goodness. Sam, you have done such an amazing job as event director. I know I've enjoyed working with you on the gas side, and the hot air pilots are thrilled. Thank you so much for your service.
Well, thank you, Ruth. It's out of passion, it's out of love for the sport of ballooning that I do this, and I'm very happy with the results. Thank you for being part of it.
You're welcome. Glen, Art, we couldn't have a better event director. You guys top that.
No, we can't. And I would echo what you just said. There's no better event director that I've ever worked with, and I've been doing this for well over 30 years at events all around the country. Sam is purely the best, simply the best. And what a moment that was. I could choke up just thinking about it. And the video we showed, last night we re-showed the video of all the inflation stuff. And probably the most exciting moment for me was the video of Jewel Cutter and seeing her face and her reaction and how excited she was at that gorgeous new balloon. Sam actually clued us in the night before as to what was going to happen and a little bit what the design was, so that we wouldn't be sitting up here going, oh, wow, look at what is that? Who did this? So we kind of knew, but then we were sworn to secrecy. And as I promised Sam, I said, look, I'm leaving the field and going to my hotel and then coming back. I'm not going to see anybody, I promise. We won't tell. So he clued us in. But Sam, well done, my friend. The design is just striking. The tribute to the original 13 pilots is absolutely appropriate. And can't wait to see that balloon flying in the sky, not just here in Albuquerque, but hopefully all around the world. Already invitations are coming in from various ballooning events that want to have that balloon come and help promote the 50th anniversary. And it's going to be, we're going to be counting the days on the calendars till we come back, October 1st. And how unique that on the 50th year, Fiesta is always the first Saturday of the month of October. And how unique is it that on the 50th year, it would be Saturday, October the 1st. It's just, it's going to be easy to remember. And the fact that we delayed this year, the 49th, because of COVID, has aligned even the
It's made everything line up.
The dates, because it was 72 to 2022, so it's now 50 years on the calendar even.
And
so
the 50th event.
50th event.
Also will be the 25th event for America's Challenge.
Right.
So that plays into there. You already mentioned the 1st of October. Yeah, the stars and the calendars are aligning.
They have, yeah.
Partly due to the issues we had with COVID and the pandemic.
So, but yeah, well done, Sam, to you and all of your staff, and it's a pleasure for us to be a part of it. And Sam is a huge supporter of Balloon Fiesta Live. We appreciate that support that we get from him and all of the board of directors that allows us to have the fun that we have up here.
Drainage winds or the northerly winds starting to decrease the thickness.
We're just listening in here for a moment, so stand by one, Ruth.
If he's in a position where we can open the field for other statics, we will do that.
So it sounds like
a little bit of optimism, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like we're maybe going to get the balloon of the day stood up, and then depending on how that works out, they're considering opening the field for a static display. They haven't done so yet, but it's under consideration. So that's all a factor of safety. And speaking of safety, Ruth has, I think we heard correctly, the person who is in charge of safety for one of the new features here at Balloon Fiesta this year, and that was the appearance of the Globitos, the little radio-controlled balloons. So, Ruth, back down to you.
Thank you, Glenn. And it never even occurred to me that you had to have a safety person for the Globitos. What are you looking for in your job, Melissa?
So we have to have a fire extinguisher within 5 feet of our reach, so that way if something happens, we're right there. But it's just like with the big balloons. We have to make sure we're tied off. We have tie-offs. We have markers tied on our lines, so that way we can only go up a certain distance, because we have certain rules and regulations, as well as the ops manual for the Globitos.
And Melissa Bond, you're a perfect person to be doing this, because you have been a safety officer and involved in Balloon Fiesta for many, many, many years. And now I understand that you're a Globito pilot as well.
Yes, I've been involved with Fiesta for 28 years. I am a Globito pilot. I've had my system for 22 years, and I have Itsy Bitsy Spider and Casper, and so we're hoping to go for a world record next year. We've had so much interest this year. It's so amazing, and everybody loves the little balloons.
Where do they come from?
They come all over the world. So we have a nice club here, Enchanted Remote Control Balloons, and they're here, and we have probably 20 pilots or remote control balloons here. Then we have some down in Las Cruces and in El Paso, and then of course all over the U.S.
That's amazing. And you even have the little wee Globito banners on the side. Do they ever get called to the tower?
We do really well. We do have a debrief after we brief, and so we talk about issues or things that have happened. But we do have. It was great because last night we did our little twinkle twilight or our little glow, and we did our little candlestick. So it was pretty cool.
You said that you were looking to set a world record at the next Fiesta for Globitos. What would that look like? 500 Globitos?
Hopefully we get about 55 to 60. The current world record is, I believe, 52, but we want to go higher, and I'm sure that it will be beat throughout the year. So I'm sure with all the positive stuff going on here with Fiesta, it will just increase even more, and we'll have more than the 55 or 60.
I'm sure you'll be able to do it. Balloon Fiesta always does it better, best, most. There is nothing Balloon Fiesta can't do. We're going to send it back up to the stage. And what do you guys think?
Well, I think that sounds like an awesome plan, Ruth. I know radio-controlled balloons, or Globitos, are very popular over in Europe. They have an entire event over there, much like Balloon Fiesta, dedicated only to Globitos. And I've been thinking, since I retired from actively flying balloons some years ago, I've actually actively been thinking of getting one for myself because I live on a little rural airport where it'd be perfect to fly it right off my back deck. So maybe by next year I can come out and be a part of that world record. That would be fun.
Yeah, and it really is fun, and it's a great way to get started in ballooning at a kind of a lower cost, and you don't have to go through all of the formal FAA training to fly one of those, but you get the concepts, you get the opportunity to do that, and then you can
understand how the balloons work, how they fly, and then if you want to go on and graduate up to the real thing, you can take what you've learned and apply that in your pilot training, because the burner process and everything is all the same. It's just you're doing it by a remote control handheld unit as opposed to being in the basket. But I think it's a great addition to Balloon Fiesta, and looking forward to them, doing more and actively involving the Globitos in more ways as we move forward in the future.
So we can watch the KKOB balloon, which is the balloon of the day, and it is now time for our national anthem, performed for us this morning by the New Mexicords.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Yeah. Woo, yeah.
Our national anthem performed this morning by the New Mexicords.
And a bit of a burn there for the final note. A few of the balloonists participating, and thank you for that, guys and gals. So one of our Facebook viewers asking, so is there a chance the balloons will go up today?
Well, let me just talk. What they just said before the national anthem is based on the wind conditions that they are seeing with the balloon of the day. That's the 770 KKOB balloon, piloted by Ron Curry for Cumulus Media. They are encouraged, and they are about to open the field for static display.
Okay, which would be like we did yesterday, where the pilots are free to inflate their balloons and stand them up here on the field. They do not have permission to fly. It would be a static display.
You can see the yellow flag is still up.
Yeah, and to my knowledge, they haven't given that okay yet, but they are considering that.
They were they were telling all of the officials that they were going to do that.
Okay.
So yeah, we were hearing that just as you were getting us into the national anthem.
I just didn't want us to jump the gun and tell pilots they could do that when in fact maybe that decision had not been made finally.
So we will probably see some balloons stand up here. It's still kind of gusty here on the tower, although it is.
It has
it's a little calmer,
yeah,
but not. It's still there's still some breeze here.
Yeah, but it's not as bad as it was. 15, 20 minutes ago.
We were seeing 7, 8, 9 here on the rooftop studio with gusts higher than that. It's now dropped on the rooftop studio, to 3, gusting to 7. So definitely getting better. And, even those clouds that were overhead earlier have now moved out.
Moved, right. But that's also an indication that the wind up above, the wind aloft, is fast, and it is what we thought it was going to be. It's out of the west, moving to the east. And as we discussed yesterday, flying to the east is not a good direction for us. Sometimes we get carried away with tangents. We got off And our friend Andrew Holly has given us more than those to run with this week. We got off on the tangent of playing bingo early in the week. And yesterday, as we were unveiling the new Balloon Fiesta 50 balloon, everyone was wondering about the name of the balloon. We still haven't heard if it has a name or been given one yet. Maybe we'll find that out while we're here. If not, maybe it'll happen later on. But what also happened, speaking of names yesterday, was Andrew informed us that he had a brand new kitten, and he asked our viewers online to propose names for the kitten. And last I heard from Andrew last night was they were down to 2. They thought they had a winner, but they were down to 2 names. He was supposed to let me know this morning, but people in our Facebook chat room are asking, have we heard what the name of the kitten is yet? So, Andrew, if you're watching, and I'm assuming that you are over in the UK, what did you name the cat? He finally sent me a picture of it. It's a beautiful little brown, kind of a tortoiseshell-looking kitten. And, he said yesterday he was considering names like Kirky, Sandia,
Thermal
was one of
there.
the ones. Those were some of our viewer names. There was, he said he was even considering some things like Alameda or Corrales. And then I tossed at him and said, what about Rio for the river?
Right.
He seemed to quite like that. Andrew, we're all on pins and needles here, waiting to find out the name of your kitten, because he wanted it named in association with the Balloon Fiesta. Andrew is a regular attendee here. He brings us the penguins that we've talked about this year, usually the entire fleet of animals from Sky Safari at Longleat. Not here because of travel restrictions. We miss you, buddy. But we all want to know what's the name of the kitten. And I think he said yesterday Roma, his lovely daughter, was, let me get back to my message board here just to see. I want to get this right. Roma was calling the kitten, where'd it go?
Something like Blampity Blamp?
Blampity Blamp, something like that. Yeah. Here it comes. I've got to get back through all these messages and see.
So while you're scrolling for that in our YouTube chat, someone is asking.
Blampity Blamp was what Roma was calling the kitten yesterday. But we're all waiting to find out. Andrew, what did you name the kitten? Let us know.
So someone is asking, how is that wind fast? When we just talked about 3 gusting to 7, how is that fast? Well, at that moment, that would be okay.
Yeah.
The problem is, it's only
all
for that
morning
moment.
Long, it's been 9 to 12.
Down. And as we watch the KOB balloon standing on the ground, you can see that it's kind of rocking and rolling back and forth. The one side kind of caving in, making it lean a little bit. That's what happens because we are just a huge sail when we're flying. Now, on the ground, we get this. When we get in the air, we move along. But remember, we have to come down and land in this. And so when we land, the basket hits the ground, the envelope keeps going like it's trying to do right there, and we start dragging, which means we need a big area to land in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the backside of the envelope, once you've touched down and you're no longer keeping the balloon pressurized with heat, and you start losing that heat while you're venting as you're landing, then the backside of the envelope, the upwind side where the wind is impacting the balloon, it pushes it in and it becomes – can't remember the difference in concave and convex, but it becomes concave like a spinnaker sail. And a spinnaker sail is on a sailboat for one reason, and that's to gain, my understanding anyway, I'm not a sailor, but my understanding is they're basically they're like a speed item. You put it up when you want to get more speed.
And so all you do is get drug along the ground,
and that's what
farther
happens.
and faster.
Your balloon turns into a big spinnaker, and it just drags you across the ground, so you need a large area to land in. We don't have large areas to land in if we travel over to the east. That's up into the foothills of the Sandias, heavily populated residential area, not a good direction.
And even the
one
south
or two or
is
three
getting,
or a few balloons, a few balloons could fly up there and land, but not necessarily in high winds, and certainly not 500-odd balloons could go up there. The KKOB balloon now is deflating.
Yep, we can just see the top of the balloon that he has pulled the parachute top in, making that big opening there. Yep, and so the heat is coming out.
Yep.
But even coming down, even like this, even if you got down safely and without much drag, even going through this process, if the wind picks it up, you're going to go for a ride. So, it is just not safe to be putting your balloon up when it's any kind of wind because you just become a big sail.
I'm so bundled up, even my iPhone doesn't recognize me this morning. I was trying to do Face
Sam is
ID.
trying to get your attention across at the tower.
Oh,
over
hi,
there.
Sam. You got one? Yep. Did you win it? Nope. You didn't get it fair square then, did you? Nope, I got it. Okay. I was we're having a conversation with Sam Parks, our event director, as you met him a few minutes ago in the interview with Ruth. I was very pleased to be able to donate some of my custom tartan scarves.
We heard it
for
being
the
given away
yeah.
as the ambassador of the day.
One was
for our
given
balloons this
each
year.
day to the ambassador of the day, and then I threw in an additional one to be a prize for the at the party for the navigators. And I had told Sam, when the box arrived, Sam said, the box is here, they've arrived, but I've not opened it out of sheer self-preservation. And I said, Sam, if you'd like one, I'd be happy to get one to you. And Sam just was shouting across from the announcer's tower, says, I got one. I'm not sure
and he's
how.
showing it off to everybody over there now.
I'm not sure how he absconded with it, but being the event director, I suspect if he says one of those is mine, there's no one to counter it. So, Sam, I hope you enjoy it, my friend. Love you.
Ruth Linda has found someone else to chat to. So
Okay.
let's just throw it to her and see what she's got.
Let's find out. Go, Ruth.
Hey, you guys, I'm down here in the Kubitschek Balloon Manufacturers tent with Alan Anderson from Nevada. Alan, you've been working the booth all week. How's it been going here?
Busy. This tent stays swamped the entire time, which is really great. I mean, people are really curious about Kubitschek. To a lot of people, it's a fairly new brand. As far as the popularity is just taking off, and it really shows at the booth. There are people out into the street pretty much all week long.
What is it that makes Kubitschek balloons different and special?
Well, first of all, it's our polyester. And the other thing is that Kubitschek Balloons makes all of its products in-house, including the fabric. And by doing that, it gives us the chance to research and develop products that nobody else has. Our new fabric, out of the box, is 3 times stronger than anybody else's fabric at the same weight, which is spectacular if you think about it. That makes our balloons 3 times stronger than anybody's.
That's wonderful. And you're flying a Kubitschek balloon yourself, I assume?
I'm flying multiple Kubitschek balloons myself. I love them. I can't get enough of them.
That's wonderful. Have you had a chance to fly this week at Fiesta, or are you too busy working here?
Oh, no. We, like I say, we have 2 balloons here, and we fly a 105 on the mass Ascension days and a beautiful racer on the competition days.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ellen, for joining us. You're still here. It's been a wonderful week. We're glad you came. Glen, Art.
Thanks, Ruth.
Thanks, Ruth. Turn the microphone back on. We are professionals, at least we pretend to be. Thank you, Ruth, and welcome, as always, to Kubitschek Balloons. They're one of the many manufacturers that are found here on Balloon Fiesta Park throughout the week.
Check out that old state police.
Oh, my goodness, look at that.
Cruiser.
Yeah, that's cool. We get a lot of great comments in our Facebook and YouTube chat rooms on the broadcast there. Tara Brubaker-Dixon says, I've learned so much listening to you in the morning, you being both of us, I'm sure, and Ruth and Kim. I loved every minute of it. Do you know how many went up on Thursday morning? No, we don't. When I say we, Balloon Fiesta Live doesn't know. It's obviously far too many for us to try and count. There is a scanning.
We don't have enough fingers and toes.
No, we don't. And it's too cold to take our shoes off. There is a scanning system that's used that records who flew when they get propane. You were a part, I think, of and checking in. You were a part of putting some of that together. So I think Fiesta has a count somewhere, but that isn't information they generally share with us every day.
So the process this year is when they get to pilot's briefing, they have to have their badge scanned. It's like taking attendance at pilot's briefing.
It's like saying answering roll call here, here,
but
we
you
don't
can
want to do
imagine calling 600 names.
600 names.
Yeah. So we are scanning their badges. That's one of the systems that I wrote for us to be able to use, and it gives us an opportunity to say, okay, you were at pilot's briefing, because it is a requirement. If you're going to fly that day, you must attend pilot briefing.
That's right.
So that's one piece. When you stand your balloon up and launch it, then as part of the launch process, you hand a little launch chit, if you will, to the
To your
launch,
launch
director.
director.
So now we know you were at briefing, and we know that you flew because you turned in that launch chit. Then when you come back to refuel, they scan you in again at the propane side to say, okay, this is the person that got fuel. So between the three of those, especially the second two, that's how we would get a count of who actually flew that day. And we watched that. You didn't show up for briefing and you came and got propane. We're going to be wondering what the deal is.
Or, yeah.
Or vice versa.
You didn't, we didn't get a launch chit from you. So we think you didn't fly, but you showed up and got propane. So did you put propane into your RV or, your barbecue or whatever?
So all of that is tracked and analyzed after the event here, and that is actually the process that we were able to apply to Guinness for the Guinness World Record in 2019 of putting 584 balloons in the sky in one morning.
Okay.
And so people have always said to us, once we started announcing and talking about that Guinness World Record, people remember that back in 2000, we had more than 1,000 balloons.
Right.
So why isn't that the record?
Yeah, the rally call was 1,000 for 2,000.
Right, and we had about 1,000. I can't remember if it's 1,013 or 1,019.
I was thinking 1,019 is a number I seem to remember, but yeah, it's really immaterial. But we didn't have a way of documenting that, and so we couldn't claim that.
Right,
as
never
a world
applied for
record.
it. Right.
Right, and trust me, when you work with Guinness, which I did with Andrew on his Fly Every State world record, I actually have one of the certificates hanging on my wall at the office at home because I worked logistics for the team from my office in Louisiana. There were a vast number of criteria that had to be met for each and every flight. And if you didn't match those criteria and couldn't document it with signatures on real paper hard copy documents as opposed to computer, then it was not counted and the record would not have been recognized. And so, yeah, that's why back in 2000 we didn't have that system, so we couldn't document that we actually had we knew we had 1,000 balloons registered, but we don't know if we ever had 1,000 balloons in the air at the same time. And there was a period of time, I'm almost ashamed to bring this up, but I know there was a period of time back when Fiesta first introduced barcodes on pilot badges some years ago, because there was evidence that there were some pilots who would register. They'd come out to Balloon Fiesta, they got the free hotel room, and basically they came out and they partied all week long. They rarely, if ever, flew a balloon. They were just here to get all the free amenities, and they didn't participate by helping to put on the show. And that's when we started doing barcodes so that we could begin to track, who actually was flying the balloon. And if it was showing up that you were coming here, receiving all the pilot benefits, and you were not flying on days when it was flyable. Now, we're not talking about forcing people into the air when it's unsafe.
Exactly.
But if you were
But if you kind of never flew and everybody else
flew
flew all 9 days.
And everybody else flew those days.
Yeah.
Or even on the days when, 5 out of the 9 days were flyable and everybody else flew, and it was clear that you did not, then the message was kind of like, well, you're not invited back because you're just coming out and partying and taking advantage of the benefits and not helping to provide the show. So that's kind of how that whole system began, and it's sort of a shame to say that we needed to do that, and we needed better record keeping and control, and now we have that.
Well, the other part of that, too, is we always have more pilots who want to be here than we can accommodate.
Exactly.
So let's accommodate the ones who are truly putting on the show.
Right, and of course, we also have multiple balloons have multiple pilots. Many balloons register a second pilot. So it's,
there's like more than 100 second pilots or additional pilots here this year.
Right. So there's an awful lot of logistics that go into putting on this event, and it's amazing how through the years I've had the benefit of being able to watch that evolve from our position up here and see, and the idea that now we're doing scanning IDs and whatnot is really it's very high tech and it's very cool, and it gives us a record of what we've accomplished, and it also gives us some control that we didn't have in the past that was really necessary. So
it's really
the long answer is Fiesta will know how many flew on Thursday. You and I don't know.
Right. And it's actually been really cool. The scanning program was just kind of a thought that I had a number of years ago. I managed to put it together for the local balloon club, and now we've implemented it here at Balloon Fiesta. So it was really great, and I couldn't really support it during the week, so we had to turn it over to some other folks. It's kind of like giving your child and letting them go there. But Kate Kelly has done a great job of implementing that over there for us and making it work, and I'm just really happy that it's been a solid program for us.
And another of the many ways that you have contributed and worked behind the scenes with this event and are so deserving of the Hall of Fame award. And again, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
So Ruth has tracked down Mandy Johnson with a different manufacturer. So Ruth, we'll toss it back down to you to learn more about our manufacturers who are here.
Thank you, Glenn. I always have a special place in my heart for Lindstrand balloons. So does Mandy Johnson. She's from Prosser, Washington, and she's been working in the Lindstrand balloon tent all week. What kind of a week has it been for you, Mandy?
It's been a fantastic week. We've had a lot of people in here with really good questions and looking at the equipment, and it's just been really fun to talk balloons all week.
What's your favorite thing about Lindstrand balloons?
My favorite thing about Lindstrand balloons is the quality. Personally, I own a repair station as well as being a pilot, and so the quality is what drew me to the company, but we put out a fantastic product, and there's just beautiful fabrics, and the way they come together, I just love it.
I was talking to Phil Thompson earlier in the week, the owner of Lindstrand Balloons USA, with his wife Lisa Kempner, and he said that you intended to have a lot more baskets in your tent this year, but everyone wants to be flying them. I really sympathize for those people.
Yeah, I do too, and we sympathized enough, we let them take them, and we were lucky enough to have someone loan us a basket for the week. And so we had one.
You're that popular. Now, yesterday you had a special deal going on here, buy it here and take it home. Yeah. Tell me about that balloon and the pilot who bought it.
Well, that was Calypso, and that went to Tamlin Grace, and she's from Colorado, just north of Denver. And actually today is her birthday, so happy birthday, Tamlin. And she was super excited. She went for a demo flight the other day with our pilot, McKenna Sechrist, and they had so much fun, and she said, I just have to have this balloon. And we said, let's load it up.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, and we are so happy that you're here every year, and so happy that you keep putting out such a wonderful balloon. Glenn, Art, back to you.
Thanks, Ruth. And like you, I have a bit of a special place in my heart for Lindstrand. My balloon Coyote Moon was a Lindstrand balloon. My original was a Thunder and Colt, and along the way, I've also owned a Cameron. So I've kind of experienced several of the manufacturers. But there's always you always have probably one of your balloons that's your favorite. Obviously, my first one is still my favorite in my heart. But I loved Coyote Moon too, and it's still flying. I actually sold it on to my friend Greg Taggart when I retired from flying because of my knees. He flew it for a number of years out in California, and has since now sold it on to some folks in Central Texas. So Coyote Moon is still flying high, and I'm really pleased.
And closer to home again.
And closer to home, and I'm really pleased that the multiple other owners all decided to keep the same name. A lot of times people will buy a used balloon and they'll rename it for their purposes, but in both cases, the owners kept the original name, Coyote Moon, and so, quite pleased with that.
If you're just tuning in, we are on a yellow flag morning. The field is open for static displays. We've seen the Big Sky balloon with Johnny Petrin, the new ABC show, or newly premiered again. There's another one out on the north end of the field, and I see one, actually a couple more, starting to inflate right along Main Street. The Moo Crew balloon, and the other orange, black, and yellow one as well. But you can see as they go through the inflation process, and actually after standing it up, there's still a lot of rocking back and forth as the wind continues to buffet those. And while I said, we were talking about the wind a few moments ago, and I said, well, it's 3 gusting to 6. It's now 8. So in the matter of just a couple of moments, you can see how it's been going up and down. When it drops off like that all of a sudden, many times we just call that a sucker hole.
Yeah.
The idea is that, I can get my balloon up, and then what do? You get it partly off.
And then Mother Nature says, sucker.
There you go. Yeah.
Boom.
So we will see a few balloons stand up and attempt to put on a static show for us this morning.
Well, and again, not to belabor the point, but all of these pilots have miles to travel before they sleep. Most of them do. We do have some local area pilots, of course. And so it's a decision they have to make. Do we want to get all the equipment out, set it up for half an hour or so, then pack it all up, get everything back in the truck, refuel, and then get on the road and make a long drive home? I've got a 2-day, 14-hour drive ahead of me. And so, you can understand how some of the pilots, with everything already packed up from last night, might be a little hesitant to pull it out this morning, and we understand that.
Yeah, they could get an early start.
Exactly.
I do see Beth Wright-Smith starting to set up Smokey Bear out there.
I do. You're right. I see the Moo Crew team also setting up their little balloon. We've talked a lot throughout the week about the great audience that we have around the world on Balloon Fiesta Live and all across the United States. We have fun checking in with seeing who all has checked in and from where. A couple of quick messages I've seen this morning. Jean-Luc Marchand says, good morning from France, from Chambly Air Base, and that is, of course, the site of the event in Lorraine, France. That is held every other year. In size, it probably competes with the size of the Balloon Fiesta, but it is held only every other year. But a beautiful sight to fly. They had a successful event earlier this summer, and Chambly is such a beautiful region and area to fly in over there in France. So good morning, Jean-Luc, or morning for us. And thank you for checking in. Jürgen Reimack says, please tell all hi from Germany. Well, hi, Jürgen. Nice to have you watching. So, our international audience checking in. A couple of more comments about the new balloon should be named Sid. I said that yesterday, suggested it. I'm sure it will end up with a much more grandiose name than Sid, but I still think maybe that's...
I think we're going to find, a nice formal and representative name for the balloon, and then we'll call it something
maybe we'll
like
just nickname
Sid,
it Sid
or Cutter or something along those. Or maybe we'll just call it 50.
Well, that could be true.
Nifty 50.
Nifty 50. There you go. Margaret Keating says, does this run the whole month of October? Where's Sam Parks?
he's
Sam.
right down there.
Sam, someone wants to know if we can do this for the whole month of October. I would definitely have to bring Ranger and Bonnie out with me. I don't think they would put up with me being gone for an entire month. But I'm game if you're game. Let's do it. Let's do it. Especially, let's do it for the 50th. Why not?
We only have this field for really less than 60 days. The field is a city park year-round.
A month of October is only 30 days. It's not a problem. Let's just go with it.
Yeah, but we have to be out by the end, so because they take back control on November 1st.
Yeah, Steven, our director down in the truck, just said, I may have to hire some more crew. We might need a relief announcer too. You never can tell.
Well, but definitely have to have shifts.
Yeah, that would be something if we could do the whole month of October for the 50th.
Here's how you can do the whole month. You go back and you watch the shows over and over again. There's 5 years worth of shows. We figured out that was 2,000 hours?
About 2,000, 40 hours a year. So 200 hours.
200 hours.
Yeah. Binge viewing.
And so that would take you through a number of the days of the month. And remember, we've been talking about gusts.
Yeah, they are.
It just hit 14 here.
Good morning from Lampasas, Texas. What did I just see here? Las Vegas, Nevada, or as I like to refer to it, Lost Wages. Good morning from Belgium. Good morning, Mario van Kranenbrock. Mario, I apologize. I'm probably absolutely destroying your name. Celie Driscoll.
Someone says a month of this would be a little bit too much.
They'd probably get tired of you and me after for a month.
Definitely.
That's definitely sure.
Balloonmeister Henry Rosenbaum has joined us here on the set. We just had a suggestion from one of our online viewers that we do Balloon Fiesta for an entire month of October next year.
Yeah, they were asking, does this run all month long? And I thought, there's an idea for the 50th.
Well, your videos run all month long.
All year long.
Our videos
That's what
are
we were
all
just
year
saying.
long. Yeah,
that would be tiring for a lot of people. But I know as the balloonists, we'd love to fly all month long.
Yeah.
But a lot of these folks are heading back home to go to work or attend to other things. And that's what we're going to come up here and say, that I appreciate the week of activity that you have shared to the world. And We wish safe travels to the ones that are traveling, but it's not over yet. The field is open for static, so.
Yeah, we've told the folks viewing and the crowd on the PA that's available, but by the same token, as you mentioned, some folks do have miles to travel, and so we understand if it helps them by not putting up the balloon today to get an early start on what can be for some a long drive home.
Right, and this isn't the same conditions that we had yesterday.
No, it's not. It's a little more. It's a little more challenging today.
Yeah, it is. So we greatly appreciate the balloons that are up now, and I think we may see a couple more. We're still optimistic that we could get a flight in. We're always going to keep our options open, but right now we're asking people to stay static on the ground, and we'll give them further direction if we see that opportunity presents itself.
So we've talked a bit already about how all of us are turning our eyes to next October, to the 50th. From your standpoint as Balloon Meister and the huge staff that you have to work with, including launch directors and safety and that whole integrated system, how much time do you guys take to, one, catch your breath and maybe get some sleep,
right,
and then start the planning for next year and looking forward to all the decisions that have to be made? And I know there will be maybe some new events, maybe some retro things happening that have been in consideration for a while. This isn't just a job that you come out and do for 9 days in October.
Yeah, as you said, it's not a 9-day event for us. It's a 365-day event.
Yeah.
I said earlier in the briefing that today is the last day of the 49th, but tomorrow is the first day of preparation for the 50th.
Yeah.
If not, some things have already been in place, obviously with the new balloon and stuff. So, and there's already artwork out there, so the preparation's already there, but the team really starts now focusing specifically on the 50th. But there is a little downtime. We'll give folks some rest time. We will review our operations, what we've done this year, and take a look at what worked well, and we want to continue, and then some other things we can improve on. The other thing that's got to take place, a lot of people don't realize, is this field has to be turned back over. So all of the infrastructure that's in place now has to be demobilized and turned back over to the city. So we greatly appreciate the city, offering this property for Fiesta, and we're looking forward to a little rest time, but then we're going to be right back into our critiquing and reviewing and planning for next year.
We talked a little bit this morning. Ruth had an interview with our chief launch director about how one becomes a zebra and joins the launch director team and gets involved, what all is involved in that, and the turnover that they had, where this year there were no openings for new launch directors. What about your staff? Do the same people tend to come back in the same role year after year after year, or do you have some turnover, or some people promoted up to a higher level? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, there are people that will ask to step down or step away, and when that happens, that's really when the opportunity presents itself for other folks to come on. But we really don't rotate people out on a scheduled basis. It's really it's their choice when they decide to leave. But so those opportunities do present themselves throughout time. And then as you were asking about the promotion or moving up to a next rank, if that position is open, then we do look from within to try to move people up to the chief positions.
And not all of your staff, you're not from Albuquerque. Many of your staff are not, as a matter of fact. They are balloonists who have a long history of ballooning. Even Sam Parks, who is the event director and lives here now for years, his ballooning career was at his home over in North Carolina. Do you look around the nation when you do have holes to fill, or vacancies to fill would be the more appropriate word? Do you look around the nation at various experienced balloonists and invite them to step in to be a part of the team? Do people come to you and say, hey, I would like to be a part of your staff? How does that happen?
Yeah, I think it's more by word of mouth,
yeah,
and the connections and the friendships that we know in ballooning. We definitely like to use the folks that are here locally. They bring a great talent and experience of the local flying conditions.
Sure.
So it's, but we also value the folks that come from outside of the Albuquerque area and some of their experiences that they have experienced outside of Albuquerque. So it's a mix.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a 1, 2, 3 step process. It's a mixed.
Okay.
But our options are always open.
And of course, the technology makes it much more doable to bring everybody together to be able to have those conversations. So we actually produced the pilot safety video remotely this year as well.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So we have the technology to spread the expertise and really work for the expertise, I think, is the way I would look at it.
Well, you guys and your team do an expert job. You've done a superb job this week. What a fantastic event it has been. Kind of a shame that we have a morning like this morning to wrap it up. And yet in a pandemic year, maybe maybe it's appropriate that we have to, into every life a little rain must fall.
Right.
But what a spectacular day. Yesterday, I think, this is my 32nd year here. I can't remember a day as exciting as yesterday was.
I know.
From the national anthem right up to the unveiling of the new balloon,
Right.
it was just one take your breath away moment after another.
Right. It was amazing how you were able to capitalize on the opportunities. I know you called for the all burn during the daytime. And
Yeah,
I think
it was your idea.
But that was your idea.
It was your idea.
Give
We
credit
did
where
it.
credit's due.
Well, thank you. But so we got credit, or let's say we did the world's longest all burn during the daytime. But I think we also have the world's longest all candlestick burn
with the national anthem yesterday morning
for 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Wow.
It lasted the whole national anthem, and that was spectacular.
It really was. Some great pictures from the Chile flight who flew over.
Yes.
They've got a great video of that. A number of other airplanes posted, folks that were up there posted those pictures. And, of course, even our own balloon cam had great shots from that as well, because they were in the air during the national anthem taking the flag aloft.
Yep.
So as we go forward today, what's the schedule for how much longer will you watch conditions and observe and to reaching a point to when you would say, okay, we're done, we're not going to fly today, and it's time to end the static display, or how much, I don't know
how much hanging on are we going to do?
Well, that's not what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want it to sound that way, but it is a process of constantly evaluating the weather and the changing. We felt the wind change a couple of times up here already this morning, and so at what point do you have to reach a point of no return and make a decision that we're either going or we're not, and we're done?
Right. Well, first of all, we really don't want to set an exact time when we're going to make a decision, because as you mentioned, things do change around here. We've seen
quickly.
that throughout the week, where
quickly.
Earlier in the morning, 5 o'clock, we'd never thought we would have flown one of the days, and that was a day that turned out to be one of our better flights. Window opportunity. So, but as far as today, we're constantly monitoring. Brad and Randy and all the weather folks are working, giving us consistent updates. We know we've got potential for some rain showers to come in, so we're watching that. But the field is still open for the statics. We are closed for the free flights. If we see the opportunity to do a free flight, we'll open it. But right now, we're just encouraged and glad to see these folks that have their balloons up. And I even see a special shape up in this wind.
Yeah,
so
we just mentioned Beth stood Smokey up.
Right, but we do anticipate, based on the forecast and what we understand with the weather coming in, that by the 9 o'clock hour, we should see some pretty steady, stronger winds.
Okay.
So I would say at the very least we may not see them after 9, but until now and then we're going to see more static balloons hopefully coming up, and if the opportunity is there that we'll fly, we'll fly. But if it's not the right conditions, we're not going to fly anybody.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again for an awesome job, you and your entire staff. And thanks for coming up so many times this week to visit with us and give us some official word on what's happening. And
letting us come up and broadcast pilot briefing to our folks as well. We took almost the entire briefing this morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got to hear all your great remarks to the pilots and all the recognitions as well.
Right. It truly comes from my heart. I'm honored to be here and be in this position. And I'm just the person that gets to voice a lot of the direction, but it's not me making all the decisions. I got a lot of input coming in from a lot of subject matter experts out there.
Well, like many of us, you've got miles to travel eventually to get back home, too. So safe travels to you, my friend. And
thank you.
Let's come back and do it again next year.
Yep, looking forward to seeing you and staying in touch throughout the year.
You bet, Henry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Henry. Thanks so much.
And
Henry Rosenbaum, our balloon meister.
And talking about getting back to work, the AMBF staff, the permanent staff.
Yeah.
We have a staff meeting Tuesday morning.
All right. So Ruth is down with one of the balloons that's been very prominent throughout the week is that beautiful blue and white balloon for Big Sky. Big Sky is a new television series on ABC TV that premiered during Balloon Fiesta week. And Ruth is down with the pilot, who I think is probably a gentleman that we know, John Petrin.
Yes, I am down here with John Petrin, one of my favorite pilots on the field. John, you have been a corporate pilot for years and years and years, and I know that you understand and appreciate the importance of a corporate balloon program to any business or TV show. Tell us how that brings benefit to the corporate sponsor.
Well, good morning. I'm glad we were able to put the Big Sky from ABC's balloon up this morning. The Big Sky decided that because they're filming a lot of season 2 here in New Mexico, that it was a natural fit for them to buy a balloon and have it participate in the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. And even last Saturday night, we had the cast and crew. We had a screening party here on the field, so we were kind of an Instagram backdrop for them as well. So it's really worked out great. They really wanted to show that they were part of New Mexico, and they're happy to be here, and we're happy to be here flying the balloon for them.
Yeah, I agree. It wasn't really on my radar, and now having seen your balloon and listened to you, I'm planning on starting to watch that series. Have you had that kind of reaction from other people on the field as well?
Yeah, so many people are coming up talking about their favorite characters. I've had to tell a lot of people no spoiler alerts because I haven't had a chance to see season 2, which premiered a week ago. So I haven't had a chance to see either of the first couple episodes. And then there's a lot of people that I think hopefully are going to go home and check out Big Sky. It's on ABC on Thursday nights.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, John. I know you have your hands full in the wind, and we'll catch up with you again soon. Glen, Art, back to you.
Thanks, Ruth. And hi, Johnny. Good to see you. Have not had a chance to visit on the field, but I've seen the balloon flying all week. And yeah, I've put Big Sky on my must-see list. I was not aware of the series really until the balloon showed up, and so always looking for new, good programming to view. So I'll be checking it out when I get back home this week.
The power of ballooning in advertising for
Absolutely.
your product, whatever it may be.
Whatever it may be. That's right. It works in all media and has a lasting impact. There have been all kinds of surveys through the years that show that, someone will remember a balloon they've seen for, 2 or 3 years, whereas, you won't remember a 30-second TV commercial or a radio commercial or a billboard, all of the more traditional advertising media that for more than perhaps just a few days. Some people can't remember a radio commercial they heard driving in this morning.
Look at the shot we're looking at.
Well, yeah, you're looking
Solaire,
at
Isleta, Creamland,
and
Smokey Bear.
Smokey Bear for the National Park Service. So there you are. And it's all about, advertising and branding. That's the new word that's been around for a couple of years now.
Right.
Used to call it marketing. Now it's all about branding, whatever that is. But
as long as it's not like they used to do in the Old West with the
hot irons. No,
but
exactly.
It's the concept. They want to embed that in your head so that you think about it and you remember about it.
And as I say, I'm sure Johnny just said, the second season of Big Sky premiered this week. Well, I didn't know there was a show called Big Sky until I saw the balloon. So all of that money that they spent promoting on television and maybe newspaper, et cetera, didn't reach me as a consumer, but the balloon sure did.
And I'm only maybe about a month ahead of that because I heard we were bringing the balloon and the Big Sky organization out.
Okay.
So the whole logistics around bringing the balloon out, I just got a heads up on it. But you're right. It's definitely on my brain now.
Absolutely. And so, that branding with the balloon program worked, at least in our case. Now, you could argue that we're maybe more attuned to balloon advertising because we're involved in the sport. But again, I'm pretty media savvy. I work in the media myself, and and as I say, the program had just never caught my attention until I saw the balloon here. So, well done, and continue to fly and operate safely, Johnny, as he always does. John's dad, by the way, talking about balloonists, we've looked back a lot at history. John's dad, John Petrin, was one of the very first to attempt to fly a balloon around the world. That's now been done a couple of times. Steve Fawcett did it, and then I can't recall and couldn't pronounce it. If I could recall it, probably the Russian gentleman who beat Steve's record as far as time was concerned. And then, of course, Brightly Orbiter 3 was the first to do it. But John's dad was one of the first who attempted it with a very unique balloon system. You can go back and read about the history of it. And he intended to make a second attempt, but sadly passed away before he was able to do so. The Petrin family is well known throughout ballooning, not just Johnny, but all of his brothers and sisters all flew. Becky Petrin, of course, was an official photographer here for a number of years. And it was really in her honor that we started our memorial flight, which we did last Sunday, where the pilots are given streamers to write the names of those loved ones who have passed that they would like to remember. And we began that, I think, the year after Cindy passed away.
And we have her name on our photo contest as well.
Do we?
The
Okay.
Cindy Petrin photo contest. Sponsored actually has a new sponsor this year, Acima, which is a company that does a lot of support for federal government contracts and other companies as well. They are sponsoring the photo contest. You can enter the photo contest by just going to balloonfiesta.com, clicking on photos. All the information and the entry form is right there online. And so we would encourage you to submit your photos. There's not a big window to be able to get their photos in, and some good prizes as well. So you're going to want to make sure that you check that out while you're checking out the Balloon Fiesta live pages and all the pictures and videos are available to you.
So if you're interested in entering the photo contest, don't be a sloth, like the new special shape that we saw here this year. Because if you know anything about sloths, you know they move very, very, very slow.
They do. So another one, I was just going to say, look, there's another one. How about embedding your brand?
Yeah, there's a balloon manufacturer with their brand embedded on the balloon, Adams Balloons.
Now manufacturing here in Albuquerque and in Indiana. That would be Mike Bertetto.
And there is the second most photographed group here at Balloon Fiesta, the Mounted Patrol. Ruth did an interview with them earlier this week.
There they are waving at us. Good morning.
Yep,
all
give
of you
wave
wave
to the camera. Hey, guys and ladies. I think there's a mixture down there.
Yep.
At least the detective we interviewed the other day was a lady.
Just one of the mounted patrol units we have out there.
Yeah,
Zebra's doing some.
APD has a mounted unit. You said the sheriff's
department, search
one.
and rescue is out here. So,
okay.
Yeah. So a number of them are out here.
Can we get one of the horses up on the rooftop studio for an interview? Do you think?
I think we have to go to them. They're that popular.
Well, you know, they are. They command attention. I was going to say, we had a skunk come visit us, so why not get a horse up on the rooftop? Oh, the things. What happens at Balloon Fiesta stays at Balloon Fiesta.
No, it doesn't.
No,
it comes on Balloon Fiesta Live, and we put it out there around the world.
Okay. Well said.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, for those of you on the field, this is a great time to go out and do your last-minute merchandise shopping. We know that lots of things have sold out throughout the week, but there's still a number of great items over there, from our vendors to our official merchandise tents. You may want to check out the posters and the calendars. As we heard from Henry and from Sam, the march to our 50th anniversary and the march to our 50th Balloon Fiesta is now underway. Bumper stickers are available down there on the field at the information booths. The 2022 calendar is already out and available. It includes 50 minutes of video, historical and recent video, so you can relive Balloon Fiesta every single day. Some of you we know, as are we, a little disappointed we're not flying today. We certainly understand it. We understand that the wind and weather conditions get sometimes just doesn't make it safe to be in the air. So we want to be safe, and the way to kind of relive things is to take home a great souvenir, and one of the best ones, I think, to take home would be the calendar, so you can relive ballooning and balloon flights and glows and gas races and all that great stuff. That will all take place in the calendar for 2022, which is available right now on the field. We've been working our way through all of the balloon manufacturers today, and Ruth has made her way to yet another one. Ruth?
Yes, I'm down here at the Ultra Magic Balloon Tent with Rick Jones from Concord, New Hampshire. Rick, you've been flying in Ultra Magic for a few years now. What do you think of this balloon?
Oh, I love them. I've bought my 5th one now, and they're the best balloons for adventures all over the world, and I think they're the right balloon, you know, if you're a heavy ride operator or just having fun. So great stuff.
Now, you were telling me earlier this week that the Ultra Magic people from the factory couldn't be here. So you have other people filling in to help out at the tent?
Yeah, the COVID rules means people from Europe can't travel here in the factories in Spain. So they asked us, you know, as dealers here to help fill out. So Morgan Braden and I have been here almost every day.
That's wonderful. Now, if someone wanted to purchase an Ultra Magic balloon, do the COVID regulations make that difficult?
No problem at all. International shipping, the kind we use, is still working fine.
Well, that's wonderful. Rick, you've been flying Dawn Patrol all week and working hard here at the tent. I know we're all ready to head back to some fall foliage in New England.
Yeah, can't wait to get home. It'll be fun. This was a great fiesta.
Thank you, guys. Back up to the stage.
Thanks, Ruth. Thanks, Rick. It has been a fun fiesta, and it's just going to kind of be a laid-back morning here as well. So we're just going to continue to watch the static displays and just kind of chat and kind of reminisce on the week as we go through the morning here. Joining us up here on the rooftop studio, the Mayor of Albuquerque, the Honorable Tim Keller. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning. Great to be here with everyone.
So how's the week been for you?
You know, it's been an awesome Balloon Fiesta week. I know we're ending with some weather, and it's good we get to see a couple of folks inflating out there, but it's been a tremendous week. And actually, we have some early estimate numbers and things, and you know, we're looking at 2019 level attendance. Hotels are about 90% occupancy, which given COVID and everything is great. And we know even from parking spaces and traffic, you know, we sold out a few nights, which is always good to see. That's what you want to see. And
Parking sells out is what happens, yes.
So it's been a good fiesta. And we're so glad, of course, you know, coming out of COVID and everything, it means so much for our community and the ballooning community, but also for our city. I mean, it's $168 million in direct economic impact. So thank you, tourists, for coming out and also helping our Albuquerque, New Mexico economy.
So we've been talking about Balloon Fiesta gearing up for number 50 next year. How is the city going to gear up and help support everyone we expect to come?
You know, we're very excited from different improvements we're going to be doing out at the airport to improvements out on the field. You know, right now we're in the sort of planning phases for a number of different ideas. But we're excited because now we're going to have the time to plan it out. And, you know, knock on wood, there might be some extra revenue to really fund some special things coming from the state. So we'll put in our asks and we'll huddle up with, of course, the organizers. And, you know, we're going to try and do everything we can. But we know at a minimum, we should have an extra on and off ramp on the freeway, which for the traffic commuters, they're going to love. It's called a slip ramp. That should be ready for next Fiesta. And a new turnaround pavilion for all the folks who are doing park and ride. So it's going to really enhance the user experience and hopefully enable more people to come and enjoy it.
We'll be looking forward to that. Any other message you want to send to the folks that are watching around the world about Balloon Fiesta next year?
Well, if you couldn't make it this year, you got to come to the 50th. So it is going to be a legendary event. And just to remind folks, you know, those of us who were fortunate enough to grow up here, you know, the first Fiesta, my parents were telling me, they remembered it out at, you know, Coronado Mall with those 13 balloons. And we saw that beautiful 50th anniversary balloon come up the other day with those 13 balloons. So now you can come out and, of course, see hundreds and enjoy everything that Albuquerque, New Mexico has to offer.
Mayor Tim Keller, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the support of Balloon Fiesta. We'll see you throughout the year as we make plans for number 50.
You got it. We'll see you next year.
Thanks, Mayor. Mayor Tim Keller from the city of Albuquerque, here to encourage you to join us for the 50th International Balloon Fiesta. We are, of course, if you've just tuned in, just joined us, we have the yellow flag up, which means we are on a delay or a hold. Basically, we have opened the field for static displays. The winds are just not in the right speeds and directions. They continue to gust up and down. So it is not conducive for a flight today. So we're seeing a few balloons stand up. They stand up for a while, then somebody else pops up. There's Steve coughing in his Twist of Fate balloon with the Isleta banner, Isleta Resort and Casino banner on it, and also the Kremlin, and there is the Albuquerque Youth Symphony program balloon. The Adams balloon is out there. We've seen others, and we've seen some candles go off, some candlesticks of burners go out there. There's a huge crowd, as we showed you a few minutes ago, around the mounted patrol. And I see a whole lot of people over there on Main Street as folks are taking advantage of getting that last-minute shopping done as well. So it's a great way to do that, a great time to do that. And I would also take a moment to remind you that you can watch all of BalloonFiesta.com's Balloon Fiesta Live's coverage on BalloonFiesta.com. Yeah, 40 hours later.
You just got jinxed.
Yeah. I know where that came from. Yep, because we have our overall champion, Zarek Wells, joining us here live on the rooftop studio of Balloon Fiesta Live. Welcome and congratulations,
Congratulations,
Zarek.
absolutely. I'm surprised you'd come up here and talk with this guy after he cost you $2,000.
Hey, well, it made up for it later on in the race.
Well,
because he got 10,000 overall.
Yeah.
So, what's it like to be champion of the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It still hasn't fully sunk in. I got that nice big trophy. Looking forward to next year when I can come visit the big trophy with all the plaques and everything, or the names, and get to see
banner number 1.
Yes,
next
for the
year.
50th.
For the 50th, banner number 1.
That's pretty special. That's pretty special. You're relatively new to competition. How did you get so good so quickly?
A lot of hard work, great crew. Really just put in a lot of effort towards making sure that I'm exercising those skills and working on those to fly into the field the way you need to do it.
Well, what does it take to be able to navigate the balloon to a target? And I'm kind of thinking back to Friday. It was so light and variable. We saw you up and down and going left and back and forth, and just really what we've always said is working it to get there. What does working it actually entail?
For a day like Friday, I think it's just a lot of patience. I sat on the field I measured it. It was 20 minutes that I was hovering over the grass. And I saw Nick Donner go by, get a little bit of direction towards the mountains, and it's like that gets me closer, and every inch counts here. So
you do sometimes go to school on other guys that are in the target zone, watching what they're doing and how the wind is affecting their balloon. Is it moving them the direction maybe you need to go, or maybe pushing them away? And you go, oh, I don't want to go up there.
Absolutely, yeah. It's they're at 200 feet up or whatever, at one balloon height up. They're going the opposite direction. I don't want to go there. Had a balloon right next to me, and we're sort of rubbing along each other, and it's like, I want to get away from him because I don't want him to change my trajectory at all. I need to be consistent with whatever I get.
You mentioned patience, and I'm reminded, though, because I know I'm not a good competitive flyer, but I flew competition. I enjoyed it. I just wasn't any good at it. But I can remember the little cartoon you see sometimes of the buzzard that says, patience be damned, I want to kill something. And you got to feel that way when you're right there at the target. You just need to go a few more feet or adjust a little bit one way or the other. And you have to, you got to be patient, but there's got to be that inner voice saying, go get it.
Absolutely. It's a constant battle of, throw now, no wait, throw now, no wait.
And then you throw and go, oh, I should have waited.
Oh, yeah, and that was the plan once I got as close to the target as I did. If I start moving away, just take what I got. It might get better, but more likely it's going to get worse. So I just needed this. I needed a score that day, and I just needed to make sure I was in there.
So we got to go back to Thursday, though.
You really want to go there?
I am. I'm going to go there. So I was down there in the field. I saw you coming in. You had a great line on the pole.
Yes.
I called it down there. I said, Zarek's got a great line on the pole. Of course, I realized, and I said it out loud, I said, I probably just jinxed him. You did. You got to the pole. What happened?
That's all on me. I mean, I gave you a hard time for jinxing me, but that was a mistake on my part. I was thinking that I didn't want to run into the pole, and so I just hovered over it so that I could drop it like I did. But I think the correct play was to, move the pole and adjust
and
from
just
there.
kind of drop over it.
Yeah.
We saw Bob Byerberg, his video, and he flew right into the pole, and that probably is the smarter play.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a pilot get penalized for hitting the pole.
I don't think so, but I was thinking that I'd fling off or whatever.
So tell me a little bit about the design of the balloon. Your balloon, and for folks that don't know, is bright yellow with a big handlebar mustache.
Yes.
And the name is Guilty. What's the backstory?
So it totally up. That's all my wife, Karen.
Okay.
So she always wanted a big bright yellow balloon. It stands out against the sky. It's the contrasting color for blue, so
right.
you're definitely going to see it. And then the big handlebar mustache is just big iconic symbol that is easy to recognize. It's a little bit fun. It's a little bit devious. So everyone really enjoys it, and we love sharing it.
And you guys are involved in the Globitos movement too, because your wife Karen wrote an article for Ballooning Magazine about the construction of your little Globitos, which is named A Little Guilty.
Yep.
And it's a miniature replica of the big balloon.
Yes, and on Friday we managed to get some fantastic.
Yeah, there's
we actually have it on
the screen right there.
We got some awesome shots of me coming in over the field, so both of us together.
I saw a couple of maybe on your Facebook page, I saw a couple of shots where the two balloons were almost side to side.
Yes, and it's hard to tell which one's which, like, with the size differential and everything.
With the right perspective, they could look the same size.
Yes, exactly.
No offense, you could almost fit in the Globitos and fly it too as a pilot.
Yep. Well, up at Colorado Springs, we put a little baby in the basket.
I saw that. You were the guy. I talked about that photo earlier. I couldn't remember who posted it, but I had seen it with the little toddler in the basket.
Yep.
Just a gorgeous, cute photo.
It was adorable.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
So
congratulations.
I was going to say, the other question we always ask champions is, so what are you going to do now?
Yeah, how do you top that?
The next step is go on to some of the other competitions that we did all summer and try and go win those. Go see you in Longview again, and go back to nationals and win nationals.
There you go.
You got big plans for the $10,000 cash prize?
Honestly, I wasn't expecting to have that kind of a prize coming towards me, so we have no idea at this point. We need to figure out something to do with it.
Go check your Facebook page. I bet a bunch of people are posting, I could use some.
Yes.
You're going to get just hit like the lotto winners.
Yep, absolutely.
Given the name of your balloon, I would suggest you set a little bit aside for bailed money, just in case.
Definitely going to take out the crew for, a party and a nice dinner or something. So
I'm
that's
glad
for
I
sure
could
going
jinx
there.
you into first place.
Yes, I appreciate it. do it again next year.
Now he's taking credit.
Well, Zarek's mom was giving me a little grief at the award ceremony yesterday for jinxing her son, and I said, yes, but look at how it turned out.
There you go.
So it all worked out. Of course, you could have had 12,000. So.
Yep.
Zarek Wells.
Send the bill for the crew party to Art. He'll take care of it.
Sounds good.
Zarek Wells, our overall champion for the 2021 Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. Congratulations again. Thanks for joining us and telling us all about it.
Awesome. Thanks, Art. Thanks,
Congrats,
Glenn.
buddy. Well done. Well done. Zarek Wells.
Yeah. What a great time.
Yeah, and the sun has come out and brightened up the day, what's been a rather somewhat gloomy day.
So I was looking at our end time here this morning and trying to figure out, because we are not only here on balloonfiesta.com and on Facebook and on YouTube, we are also putting up an over-the-air signal on Channel 28. If you're anywhere near the park, you'll be able to pick up Channel 28. And Channel 28 is being picked up by KNMQ, sorry. We're signing these?
Yeah, I was going to say, you can tell that while Zarek is a champion, he's not
He's
too
still
big.
a fan of us?
He's still fanboying over you and I up here on Balloon Fiesta Live.
Yeah, well, he was the one that did the first card drive-by up here, too, as well.
I'm not sure we should, now that you've mentioned, we shouldn't sign those for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was saying that KNMQ, Channel 20, has picked up our station on Channel 28.
Yes,
but we're
have.
also on the local Albuquerque Comcast Community Access Channel 27. Because they're working on their time schedule, we kind of are trying to hit these little half-hour marks, and we just went over that one.
We just went over 8 o'clock.
So we're into the next half hour. And
well, it's no problem. We'll just edit out Zarek's interview, and then we can hit it right on the time.
But the show moves on. The show is moving on there. So
okay.
Anyway, we are on lots of different places here, and so we'll continue to watch things. And like you said, the sun has hit the field here, and we may feels like it's trying to calm down. We may see another static or two. Then we'll get into a nice wrap up. We'll go through some things here in a minute. So while I sign, can you chat?
I can chat. Yeah, I'm always good at chatting. I was just checking some of the comments in our Facebook chat group. As a matter of fact, I haven't looked at that in a while. Today, of course, is your last day, and I don't know if Art may have said this while I was backstage before the mayor came on, but which reminds me that the mayor has been here twice this week, and I didn't get to talk to him either time. But now is a good time to do your final wrap-up shopping because, you know, Fiesta's coming to an end. And so if you haven't gotten that souvenir that you want, don't delay. Now is the time. There will be, you know, the vendors will remain open for a little while, but at some point we're going to say, that's it, we're done, turn out the lights, the party's over, and close the gates. And so, yeah, if you've seen all the balloons you want to see, then now would be the time to make your way over and work your way up and down Main Street and do that last-minute shopping. Pick up those official Fiesta items, the calendars, the programs, any of the pins, the posters. Yeah, especially the posters, as that is part of a collection leading up to next year. It now has an additional poster in the set. The Special Shapes pins, we had 2 great Special Shapes rodeo days where the balloons, the shapes were up in the mornings. Those pins are available only at Plano Pin Company. Diane Carlson sent a message up, said I had not been down to visit. No, Diane, I have not, and I apologize for that. Given COVID and my recovering and everything else, I just chose not to get out and about amongst all the crowds this year. But you know I love you. So, yeah, time to shop. Go down and take a selfie with the Mounted Patrol. They're still down here in the south end drawing a real crowd as people are down wanting to say hello to them. Get some photos taken with those beautiful horses. And police officers. They're good looking too.
They are.
Don't want to on your last day, you don't want to diss law enforcement.
No, you don't want a ticket on the way out of town.
Especially when I'm staying over and leaving town tomorrow. They might set up and be waiting for me.
Yep, that could definitely be the case. Hey, I would like to remind folks that while we would encourage you to pick up your souvenirs and your merchandise here on the field over the next hour or so before they start wrapping up and unpacking, Balloon Fiesta has an online gift store that is available year-round.
Balloon Fiesta stuff?
BalloonFiestaStuff.com. We have basically, for the week of Balloon Fiesta, have taken all the merchandise, all the inventory, if you will, out of the online store, brought it down here to the field. Over the next few days, all of that inventory, as it gets back into the shop and it gets recounted, it will appear back online.
Whatever hasn't sold out.
Whatever hasn't sold out.
Leftover inventory will go back online. It's been online for viewing. I've seen some people commenting about that.
Yeah.
But you couldn't actually make a purchase online because all the inventory was here at the field.
But that will start changing back. You'll start seeing it come back onto the store here. As early as tomorrow, more like midweek is when we'll start seeing a lot of that come in as we try and bring it back in and kind of organize it, reorganize it.
There's Balloon Fiesta stuff. You can see it on online if you're watching our Balloon Fiesta live feed.
Those are my graphics, by the way, at the top of that as well.
I know. You're just such an all-around.
Yeah, so you see, we'll be back in the online store. And the online store, of course, open 24/7. Our gift shop is open until, I think, 1 o'clock today.
Okay.
So if you wanted to stop by there as well. So Balloon Fiesta stuff after this weekend, all online, 24/7. Shop early, shop often. And
spend lots.
Yep. Continue to watch for new merchandise as it gets added throughout the year. Obviously, the big push happens right around Balloon Fiesta time. But always great stuff coming in there as well.
And one of the things that normally shows up online is any of the. We have any remaining sponsor jackets, navigator jackets, those that you
those
see,
kinds
all
of
the
things.
The staff, and not the staff jackets, but the crew, the volunteers. If we have any of those remaining,
sometimes pilot jackets.
Sometimes pilot jackets, they'll end up online and at a greatly reduced price. Now, admittedly, the sizes are your size
limited.
Choices are somewhat limited sometimes, but if you're after some of the great jackets that we get here every year, start checking after Balloon Fiesta because those will pop up, and when they do, they don't stay there long. They are usually sold out pretty quickly.
They are always in high demand, and so people are checking regularly to see about those. We talked with Zarek a few minutes ago, and even before that, we talked about the poll winners. I would like to give the top 10 a shout out here, so if we can bring that graphic up.
Graphic back up.
And we talked about the competition level was actually very high this year. more than half of our competitive pilots were able to get to a target and literally throw their marker or their marker on a target. And so the idea here, the point totals, as you're going to see here, look at the difference between Zarek's 39.35 points and Ray Bear in second place with 39.29.
6
points difference.
Wow.
Isn't that? And then it's only another 30 down to third place with
Joe Zavada.
Yeah, and you can see that's pretty close. I mean, it's only about 200 points difference between first and 10th.
And 10th, yeah.
Yeah. So Jessica Price flying the Civil Air Patrol balloon, 3704. Nolan Schuler with his Colorado balloon, 3726. Stuart Enlow, 3750. Rick Goosey, 37.95. Jonathan Wright, 38.05. Joe Hartzell at 38.14 in fifth place. Cody Robinson, 38.60 in fourth place. Joe Zavada in third place with 38.99. And as we mentioned, Ray Bear, who was flying the Fiesta balloon, one of the first times I think that balloon has ever actually flown competition. Ray flies competition all the time,
right?
But he usually flies his own balloon. But we managed to put the Fiesta balloon in competition this year, just to make sure that we get that balloon in the air and people can see it. We had for some reason, we had some gaps in the schedule as to when the Fiesta balloon might be flown by a board of director or some other person. So Ray decided just to go ahead and fly it during competition. And then there is Zarek as well. And as you can see, we gave out $30,300 plus if you were in the top 4 in your group on any given day. Those cash prizes went anywhere from $50 up to $400 depending on your place.
Wow.
And so there's another screen, Stephen, that actually has the cash totals. There it is. So Zarek goes home with $10,000 for his first place overall championship.
So 6 points was worth $3,000. Every point worth $500.
Think about that. And Zarek mentioned he gets a replica of the Sid Cutter statue.
Yes.
And FlyTech, we talked about it earlier in the week. He went home with a new FlyTech instrument as well.
And he gets to carry banner number one in the 50th year of the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta.
Yes, that's exactly what happens. Ray will be have banner number 2. Joe will have banner number 3. Cody banner number 4, etc.
Yeah.
The top 20 places get those banner numbers for the following year.
Right.
And if they don't come back, then the banner number just isn't used.
Okay.
So that's the way that works. So congratulations to all of our competitors. It was really a great year for competition, and the level of competition definitely up a few notches as well.
Absolutely. It was a challenging year, too, because we had a light and variable day. We had days when the winds were not of a typical direction that we would normally see. So there were some definite challenges for the competitors this year. But and competition is just one part of this huge event. But it went very, very well. And congratulations again to Zarek. It's great to see. It's great to see, first of all, new people breaking into the top 10, and we saw some of that in this year.
Definitely new names.
It's also
in the top
great
10.
to see some of the younger generation rising to the top. And making their imprint on the sport, because they will be those who carry it into the future.
They will. One of my other observations about the competition this year, on Thursday, and I'm just going to look at Thursday and Friday, Thursday's winds were kind of one direction. You got one pass to come in and take care of the poles.
Right.
And Friday, there was a whole lot of direction and different steerage, although it kept changing moment by moment. But we had more people ring the poles on Thursday with a one-pass shot
than Friday
when
it was
Friday
light and
when there was, yeah. I thought that was really interesting, but I would attribute that to the fact that the winds kept changing. Even though light and variable, nothing stayed the same for more than a couple of minutes. So it was much tougher in lighter winds to be able to navigate to the poles this year.
Yeah. And a lot of times competitors will tell you that. I mean, I tended to be a light and variable kind of pilot. I enjoyed those days just out flying for hobby. Competition pilots will always say, they don't want too much wind, but they want enough wind, and they want it to be constant so that you can navigate with it and steer off of it. And light and variable, you really can't, because you can't count. 1 minute you're going right to the target, and the next minute, you've taken a hard left turn. And, and there's nothing you can do. You're kind of stuck. And so, competitors are not really big on light and variable days. They like a more constant wind, and they usually like a little bit of speed to so that they can cover the distances to the targets.
And that's exactly what we saw. Of course, the Sid Cutter Memorial as well. We had that on Monday with the boat out there. We had our balloonists come in and attempt to score on that. We had two folks, Lucas Hartzell and Sean Rea, actually managed to drop their markers in the boat.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the winds picked up, and we had to cancel the competition before we got to the end of the competition window.
So those scores were eventually disallowed with regard. They normally would be counted toward the overall.
Right.
But they were disallowed because the competition window was closed early, and that meant several pilots who would have had the opportunity to score were not. Steve Lombardi, probably most famously from our standpoint among them, because he was coming across the field and approaching the target just the time that they popped the smoke. He went ahead and threw his marker anyway, and probably would have had a good score that day. So,
the other thing about the Sid Cutter Memorial, in addition to those points, the winner of the Sid Cutter Memorial usually gets some, actually the top three places are going to get some cash, and the winner gets a customized ceramic plate with a picture of their balloon on it and the fact that they are the Sid Cutter Memorial winner for that particular year. Well, with the competition being cut short, that meant the Sid Cutter Award, the Sid Cutter Memorial Award, was also cut out. But what we did yesterday, Jewel Cutter and the rest of the Fiesta folks got together and they awarded Sean Rea, who would have been the winner, a plastic plate with a drawing of his balloon on it, and on the back giving him the unofficial winner of the Sid Cutter Memorial task. Sean, by the way, won that task legitimately in 2015, and so he does have the ceramic plate with all of that.
Plate, yeah.
And we put a challenge out there for Sean to send us pictures of the ceramic plate with the plastic plate as him holding those, so we can compare the two. But it was great fun to give him that. And the other thing is it turned out the plastic plate managed to get stepped on during the process, and it actually has a crack in it. So it all just tied together nicely.
Oh, that's kind of brilliant. That's brilliant. I have, for those asking, and there have been some asking, I've just messaged Andrew Holly. We've unveiled a lot of things here this weekend. One of which being his new kitten, and we were all submitting names yesterday, and I've not heard from Andrew this morning. I'm not sure why. But I just messaged him saying, we're signing off in 15 minutes, so we're still waiting to find out the name of the new kitten. Because he wanted to name it.
Gosh, are we going to have to do a special episode of Balloon Fiesta
Live? We might have to do a
release?
Balloon Live special, Name the kitten. And, and sometimes it doesn't take a lot to entertain us, I'll admit that. It's kind of... those of you that don't know Andrew, it won't mean anything to you, but for those of us who are friends with him, it means a lot to us. He, some years ago at a balloon rally down in Natchez, Mississippi, the Great Mississippi River Balloon Rally, he and Matt Torgerson came upon a puppy, and they essentially rescued the puppy. Andrew named it Natchez and took it home to the UK, which is no mean feat to take an animal from the U.S. to the U.K. And Natchez lived a good, long, and well-loved life, but he passed away just a few days ago. And then yesterday, Andrew informed us that he and his daughter Roma had just adopted a new kitten, and he asked our audience for names because he wanted it to have a Balloon Fiesta-related name. So lots and lots and lots of suggestions were made, and the last I heard late last night from Andrew was they had narrowed the short list down to 2, and he thought they had a winner. So I thought sure he would be telling us this morning what the name of the kitten is. But
well, it's starting to get late over there, though.
But yeah, well, it's what time is it here?
Middle afternoon over there. Yeah,
8 o'clock here, so it's coming up on. He said as he looked at his dual-face watch. Well, it's 8:15 here. It's 3:15 over there. So it's just middle afternoon over there. It's not quite tea time. So so anyway, so I've messaged Andrew. We're trying to find out. We know people are wanting, inquiring minds want to know, and so I just sent him a message, trying to see if I can't prompt him to share with us the cat's name. So
the other awards we handed out yesterday at our awards ceremony were for the America's Challenge race as well.
Indeed.
Our reporter Kim Vesley, who is also the media liaison for America's Challenge, was there as well, and she joins us back here on the rooftop studio this morning. Good morning, Kim.
Good morning, guys. How's it
want,
going?
Good. You want to put that just a little closer to your mouth,
Okay.
please? Thank you very much.
Think of it as an ice cream
Now
cone,
I
and
can
you're
hear
trying
it.
to eat it. That's the best way to use those types of microphones.
There you go. So let's quickly run down the results of the America's Challenge, and then I'm going to ask you for your reflections on the week.
Okay.
I think you
Sounds like
scared
a
her with that
quiz.
last bit.
Okay, so
okay, we had an all-American field in the America's Challenge, just 4 balloons this year, and they didn't go very far. It was the shortest America's Challenge, but it was also a very challenging one. So the winners this year were Noah Forden out of Rhode Island, Bert Padell out of Pennsylvania, who flew 300, now I'm having to do this from memory, 356 miles, I believe. And in second place from Albuquerque, Barbara Fricke and Peter Cuneo, who flew 338 miles, both landed in Texas. And then in third, Mark Sullivan and Sherry White, and in fourth from Texas, Brenda Cowlishaw and Brian Duncan. So we had a wonderful, very strategic, hard-fought, cold.
Yes.
Very demanding America's Challenge this year.
And so they picked up their trophies yesterday as well. Bert was not, and Noah were not here. Bert's son is getting married this weekend, I understand.
Yeah, congratulations to Bert's son, and they had to get back home, as sometimes happens.
And unlike the hotter guys who went away with some nice big cash checks, our America's Challenge folks went away with...
They get attaboys and attagirls is what they get.
And they get a very nice
and
trophy.
the satisfaction of the competition and the adventure and knowing that they have done a good job flying this race.
So moving on, you've obviously been around Balloon Fiesta for a long time, as many of us have.
46 years.
So after a year's worth of siesta, what was it like for you to come back and get back into the swing of things?
It was great. It was just great. You know, I was thinking about it last night, and all of us balloonists have a little bit of Peter Pan who never grew up in us. J.M. Barrie said, the moment you doubt whether you can fly, you cease forever to be able to do it. But we never doubted. We knew we'd be back, and it's been a tough time for the country, and we hope we've been able to give all of the people in Albuquerque and around the world that are watching this a little bit of a lift in a tough time, and we're back, and it's going to be even bigger and better next year for the 50th.
I think you're right.
Well said.
So
well said.
we will look forward to that, and we'll bring you back just in a couple of minutes as we wrap up the show here. But I want to get Ruth Lind on the set as well. So I want to get her wrap up of the week.
Are you back
Ruth,
there?
are you backstage? Where's our stage manager? Gary? Bobby?
While we're getting Ruth up here.
There's Ruth.
Hi, Tony. Got one of our other good friends down there on the field, Tony. We, of course, had a windy day here this morning. Of course, you know what's going to happen. It's going to calm down here, although the wind is, I think it's a sucker hole, because all the forecasts are for at 9 o'clock, it's going to be screaming here.
And windy the rest of the day.
Yep, with some other stuff coming in.
Yeah.
So Ruth Lind has been with us every single morning, doing double duty because she works with us in the morning and then goes and runs the command center for America's Challenge that we've heard about. Ruth, you've been around Balloon Fiesta a long time, like all of us on the Balloon Fiesta Live team have. We had that last year off. Same question that I asked Kim. What's it been like this year to come back?
Oh my gosh. I was saying to my husband shortly before I left to come to Fiesta this year, first of all, missing Fiesta has been hands down the hardest part of the pandemic for me. Missing my family. These people have been my family for 40 years, and during the pandemic, I said to David, this is the most nights in a row that I've slept in the same bed since I went to college in 1974. I love being on the road. I love being out here. I needed this. Fiesta is part of my life, and I am so grateful and so happy to be back.
As Sam Park said this morning, told you, the best part of being here and being this year, the best part of Fiesta was being back with everyone and seeing all the balloons again.
All the people that we love. This is our family.
It is. It is. And so it's a huge family reunion every year, and we're glad to have everyone back. And I kind of said it on Saturday at the first Saturday, the very opening deals. We're back, baby. And even that got quoted again yesterday at the awards ceremony. So stand by with it. Any final thoughts there?
Well, last time we were here, you asked what my favorite interview was. And this year, I want to answer that question, even though you didn't ask it.
So what was your favorite interview this year?
There's your cue.
Why, thank you for asking, Art. My favorite interview this year is absolutely the one with Jewel Cutter yesterday morning.
Yes.
Yeah. We were all, our hearts
and you're
were
bringing
so
it back.
full.
We're all choking up
Looking
again.
at that crown, those people who we have loved so long and so well for so many years, and to see Jewel's joy and her heart and know how much that balloon means to her, best interview of my life.
Yes.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, obviously, Sid Cutter, the founder of this, Sid honored in the 50th balloon with the silhouette in the very parachute top. So you're going to see that no matter how the balloon is flying, basically, when it's cold inflating, there's Sid standing there watching over the inflation. When the balloon is standing up and flying, you look up as the pilot or the passenger in the balloon, and there's Sid watching over you, leading you into those gentle skies.
Absolutely. Sid was one of a kind, so is Jewel. We're so grateful that Jewel is with us every year and bringing the joy of Fiesta to life in so many, many ways. Jewel, we love you.
You betcha.
We do. Yeah.
There's the shot of her after she had just been inside the balloon.
The emotion on her face was so real.
It was, and I also have to say that my cameraman for the last 2 or 3 Fiestas, Tom Carey, is such a consummate professional, and oh my gosh, I have learned so much from him and had so much fun working with Tom. And when Tom was getting those shots yesterday around the Fiesta balloon, we are incredibly fortunate to have him on our team. And so, Tom, if you're listening to this, well done, dude. People from New England really get it done. Tom's from New Hampshire, in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay, now we know the connection. That's true. Our Windfire production team, from top to bottom, are just some of the very best. What they do here on a show that is totally ad-lib, totally unplanned. We all work by the seat of our pants, literally, and to make it look so professional and work so smoothly. To Gary and his team, they just do an incomparable job, day in and day out.
And it's almost like they're even anticipating what we're asking for. We didn't plan to talk about that, about the 50th and the Jewel, but yet our production team found the video to be able to throw up in there. And there's not that many of them in the truck. It's not like there's hundreds and they all have their own little camera to do instant replay on.
Yeah,
These are things, they're going back into the show that we did.
It's not like the one that you see on ABC Monday Night Football where, it's a tractor trailer with 15 different people in there. We work on a much smaller scale than that.
Sometimes it gets so funny. I mean, we spoke a little bit in the gas balloon briefing what the command center does, and we have helped people find chainsaws to get themselves out of trees in the past, and we've connected people with each other. And I've had Gary Williams on speed dial this year from out in the field making calls like, Gary, we can't find our cart. Where are they? What launch site are they at? And just, silly things like that don't sound very important in the greater scheme of things, but they enable us to keep doing what we do and look professional on the air.
They make us look good.
They do. Windfire Productions, Gary Williams, Steve Williams, the entire crew, thank you guys very much for your efforts today. Let's bring Kim back in. We're down in the last 90 seconds here.
Yeah, about time to say goodbye.
It is. So final thoughts from you, Mr. Glenn?
Oh, I would echo what everyone else has said. A thrill to be back. You know, my 32nd year up here, I could never have imagined in 1990 when I came up here as a wet behind the ears announcer to work with Tom Rutherford that I would be here 32 years later. I love Albuquerque. It's a part of my life for at least 2 weeks out of every year. And I hope to keep coming back for many, many more.
So thank you all for being a part of the team and making my job as the producer of this show actually very easy to put together a quality show. I want to thank everybody for watching us online as well.
Yeah, our audience is spectacular. We love interacting with them, trading barbs sometimes, them giving us little nuggets of information when we ask. We know we can always count on our viewers, and we love you all.
And, of course, our backstage team of Greg and Bobby as well for all the support we've gotten from them.
Greg has basically been hauling me around all week and really going above and beyond the call, and I appreciate it so much. I'm going to just check for a real quick emergency message here. The cat's name is Rio.
Rio.
And I suggested that yesterday. Well done. Rio the kitty.
With that, we have to do our traditional ending here.
We like
so
to.
if you would all join us in the balloonist prayer.
Right. May the winds
welcome you with softness. The sun bless you with your warm hands. So you fly so high and so well that God joins you in your laughter and sets you gently back into the loving arms of Mother Earth. That's it for 2021. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you for the 50th in 2022.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You've been watching Balloon Fiesta Live, powered by ExxonMobil. Always in October and always in Albuquerque. The Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta is the world's premier ballooning event. Now to join us in person in 2022 for the Big 5-0, the 50th Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. Thanks for watching Balloon Fiesta Live. This program is a production of AIBF Inc.